Welcome to Talk of the Tavern. A little about us, we're your at-home interactive weekly geek con, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk of the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk of the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk of the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk of the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to June 20th episode of Talk of the Tavern. It's a Wednesday. We're going to do some middle-aged geekery, and let me introduce my co-host on the show, and co-host in life. Andrea, what's your vices today?
Coffee. Because coffee.
Yeah.
I have townhouse crackers.
There you
I'm
go.
such a partier.
It's I'm a townhouse
And Green
cracker.
Goblin,
I grew
yeah,
up
I
in-
think you are the first. It's okay.
Yeah, the Green Goblin, you're definitely the first. The other people who are first are actually us three that are on the show.
Just us.
And speaking of us
Yep.
three, let me introduce our guest today, Don Haymaker of Crashcity Games. What's your vices today, bud?
Well, let's see. Aquafina.
I know.
And if I get bored, I can grab the 2-liter Diet Milk too.
No.
Yeah.
Party.
He is a gamer. That's all the Mountain Dew. It's like a essential.
He's legit.
Yep.
He totally is. Don, why don't you tell folks a little bit about who you are, what you've done, and what you're doing, and that'll get us warmed up and headed in the direction of, well, what do we talk about now?
All right. Sounds good. Well, I am from the giant metropolis of Roanoke, Virginia.
Woohoo.
And, New York lookout. But anyway, that's enough of that. But I have been gaming since I was 12.
Mhm.
And I'm now and now I'm now 51. So I've been gaming for a very long time. I'm an old D&D guy, but I like tabletop board games, and I prefer tabletop well over screen games. I mean, I play some screen games, but tabletop is just
Just for the personal interaction, the imagination, the effort that goes into it. You put more in, you get more out.
absolutely. And so, gaming never really gets old. I mean, there's always something to do. You put, even if you're pulling out a game of Monopoly,
Yeah.
which
It's always
some
different.
people like to refer to as the Friday night fights, but
Mm. That's why I do hot
You just-
oil Monopoly and just put the tart down and let them go to it.
there you go. That's
Like
it.
slip and slide.
That's it.
Most fun
That's
you'll
a
ever
different
have
game
getting hurt.
altogether. Yeah. That'd probably sound like be more fun on Twister, but anyway.
I tell you what,
I
don't use a
digress.
slip and slide with baby oil. It's a different experience and it doesn't end well.
Well, what's your vice, Travis?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, like it's I'm Travis. I'm
He
every.
always
I'm the
forgets
host.
about
I
himself.
do. It's you guys are so much more important. What am I? Okay, today is a poker day. So I've got a African olive wood poker shaped pipe, as well as hold on, there's a Mr. Brog, and then also another Mr. Brog, but the smaller of the two. So those are my pipes I'll be enjoying today, and today I am smoking Cornell and Deal's Cross-Eyed Cricket, which is a nice English blend with an aromatic base that I need to get my reading glasses to tell what anything else about it. And today I am drinking heavily of water.
Woo! I have water in my coffee. Hey,
Yes.
this is why I have cards.
Oh, yeah, we should do a toast. Let's do an opening toast. Hey, here's to old school gaming, creating brand new
Absolutely.
worlds.
Here.
So there we go.
Now continue. Oh, wait. One more thing before.
Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody, just below your screen, let's get your friends and other fellow weirdos, fans, freaks to fly their flags along with ours. Just underneath the video screen on the bottom right-hand side, you're going to see a share button. If you click on that, and I'm going to do it right now as we go, you can share it to Twitch, Facebook, VK, Reddit, or just get a link and share it wherever you want. Go share it, bring a few friends in, and yeah, the more the merrier, right? So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to highlight the topic of the show, and it's highlighting like half the screen. I hate when it does that.
Me too.
Okay.
So there we go. I'm going to do that like that. And then...
So, everybody, all of our viewers, what's your vice today? Throw it out there.
Monkey, what are you drinking, buddy? Or I mean, even if you're at work, what are you drinking? You've seen the amount of water flying crazily around our houses, so jump on in on that one. I'm going to share it to my Russian social website, too. Maybe we can get some of our overseas friends to pop in.
Looks like Max has Monster.
You would like Max. Max and you should connect at some point in time. Max's real name is John, and he runs a game store.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Excellent.
Now, as for Monkey, I'm at work, but I had a nice toke of my medically dispensed vape pen and a Monster. Oh, Monster's very popular today.
Monsters all around.
Put the Monster away, guys.
That's right. I was about to say, I had a Monster, but I can't
Especially
whip it
at
out
work.
of camera.
Yep.
So, yeah, with gaming, I have found, and I've played some online MMOs, massive multiplayer online role-playing games.
Right.
And it's the same thing over and over and over. Even
Yeah.
if it's a different mission, quest, or whatever, it's just a photocopy with a slightly different color sheen to it.
I agree. You know, I tried to get into WoW.
Mhm.
I really did.
I beta tested
And I
it for
tried
years,
playing-
but I'm sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. It's just that, you know, I tried to get into WoW, but I found after about 2 or 3 hours, I was bored with it.
I would
You know,
doze off while playing.
Yeah.
Hey, Disco, good
So-
to see you. You've always got the country things when you pop in, don't you? Okay, Disco, bear with us. We're not going to answer a bunch of questions for you at this point in time, but the third hour, you stick with us to then, we will definitely answer all your questions. Disco joined us one other time, asked all kinds of very cool and interesting questions. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
online games, I enjoy them for a little bit, but then if I am not socializing and interacting at some level,
Right. That's, you know, what the mantra for my business is gaming, the greatest social club. And tabletop gaming is that, because I mean, I enjoy the most fun I have is enjoying time with friends, you know, whether it's RPG, whether it's tabletop gaming, you know, most of the time on the strategy tabletop games I lose, but that's okay. I still have a fun time doing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's and the same with board games. It's different every time, even though it's the same game. It feels different because with whoever you're playing, they're always going to say something different at that point in time. So what games have you previously brought out?
Well, we are in the beta phase for our first game.
Mm-hmm.
The way my company first started, I tried my hand at it several years ago, and I thought, well, I'm going to put together this great pirate game, and I have this thing about pirates. I love pirates, and the problem was I threw all this work into it, and then the hard drive crashed, and I lost everything without backing it up. So I was disgusted to the point that I never really tried messing with that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided I was going to do a Mafia game. And it was kind of complicated. Wouldn't play. So somebody doesn't like Mafia, but that's okay.
Maybe they're just a little
But
nervous about it.
yeah, apparently. But and I tried to do that based on real dons.
Mm-hmm.
The players could either be
It
of
wasn't
course
just an ego thing going, I'm going to create a world of dons.
Well, there is that, but we weren't supposed to mention that,
Okay,
Travis.
keep going. My bad. Never mind.
So, you're all right. So, and it was supposed to be, the real dons, Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Dion O'Banion, Al Capone. And, I still have files on that, but it was unplayable. I complicated it way too much. I created another game after that called Rock and Roll Fantasy, and this was around time where Rock Band was really big.
Uh-huh.
And each player was a music producer or music manager, and they had to get their band together and go to gigs and get record deals and create records and build fame. And fame was the currency of the game.
Right.
And so, with that being said, I did have a working copy. And everybody broke it rather quickly.
Nice.
It was easy. They broke it. It was about the time that fixing it, to go back and fix everything.
Right.
The Rock Band died, and so I just kind of let that go. I may approach that again one of these days, but I think not.
Now, what about the other ones? Are you ever going to go revisit any of the other ones?
I don't know. I have 6 projects that I want to do right now.
Right.
That 3 of them I'm really working on, and I'm really excited about. So, when you're working full time and then trying to do a business on the side, it really, really stretches you.
Absolutely.
So you have to be careful. You have to be careful, and pick and choose what you're going to do. I have one game, like I said, it's in beta. My whole thing, I finally, we had talked about my problems with finding an artist. I believe I found one, but I need about 2 more, I think, because I want some different styles to pull from. So at this point, if any of you out there are artists, I would be absolutely interested in talking to you. And you can email me at crashcitygames@gmail.com.
This is where you and John talk in his comic and game store. He keeps a stable of young artists who are just getting into everything. So there's quite often some flexibility, different levels of talent, different styles of art, etc. So, that kind of stuff. It's good stuff, and John, I'm sure, will reach out to you, or vice versa. So it's nice and easy.
All right.
So the game you're currently working on. And some old folks also says, John, yeah, it's I like what he does with his store. It's very community oriented and driven, so it's good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what is the game you're currently working on? Tell us more about that.
Okay. A couple of years ago, a TV show came on the air called Timeless.
Mm-hmm.
It's an NBC show. And in watching that, I was inspired to create a time travel game. My time travel game is called Split Paradox, Skewing the Timeline. And in this game, each player takes on the part of a time traveler that is traveling through time for their own gain. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to help right what was wrong or any of that. And they're not, this is not Doctor Who. This is not Sam Beckett. This is the villains that are going and trying to run through there and change things because they want to.
Right.
You've got a scientist who's going in trying to look at all the science of the different eras. Excuse me. You've got a politician going in trying to change things for his benefit. You have a collector who's going back just to find old artifacts. You have a businessman, a capitalist who is going back just to get money.
Mm-hmm.
You have an amateur who's just time traveling just to play around,
So
just because he can.
do players pick a card that's one of these people and they play
That is correct.
character? Okay.
Yeah, they're pre-established. So the character, and then there is a time cop who is actually trying to fix everything, and it is a card/board game. The cards lay out and they become the board.
Gotcha.
For the players to move up and down. There are event cards that are laid out, and each event gives a resource of either wealth, politics, science, or artifacts. And so the players have a known agenda they're trying to do. They have secret agendas that they're trying to do, or they try to eliminate the other players. So that's 3 ways that you can win the game. So I mean, it is pretty detailed. The one thing that a lot of the playtesters have liked about the game is that it's never the same. Because even if you choose the time traveler,
right,
you randomly get the time machine that they're using. So they could have the old H.P. Lovecraft time machine, which only jumps 30 years at a time. They can have the wormhole, which is very unstable. They can have the platform that they have to go back to their starting point every single time that they move. It's so many different things. There is the personal ability to time travel. The ability of time travel, and that's at best chaotic. They might have to move and not want to. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages for, using the different machines.
Did you ever play in the 80s? Because you and I were both gamers in the 80s. Did you ever play Time Master?
I'd never played Time Master.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I've heard of it. It's been a long time, so I'm not as familiar with it.
Okay. Basically, it was a tabletop role-playing game which was oriented around time travel. And you were part of the time travel corps or whatever, going and fixing these things. Very similar to if you watch Legends of Tomorrow, which is a...
Right.
Yeah.
I love Legends of Tomorrow.
It's fun, fast, and quick. It's not a heavy show that you're going to get deep into, but you definitely can sit back, eat some popcorn, and...
I loved the George Lucas episode. I thought that was really
clever. Yeah, I like that one.
That was brilliantly done.
Yeah, especially...
I really...
Yeah, and if you think about it, somebody like George Lucas, if he did stop existing, it would change the world.
Oh, it absolutely would. I liked what they did with it. I liked how Adam didn't have his suit.
Right.
Because Star Wars never existed, and this and I can't remember Steel guy's name, but he couldn't change because Raiders never existed. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was very well done, and I love the compactor scene at the end, which no inspiration there, George.
Now,
but I thought that was...
Speaking of 80s and time travel, do you remember a TV show called Voyagers?
Mm-hmm. I do.
The one kid traveling through time with Wade Boggs or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. It was the Omnitrix or something that he used. I don't remember. He had this little device that he...
Yeah, it looked like a red-green grenade.
It did.
Out of brass.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that show.
So besides
time... And I remember liking it.
Mm-hmm. I did too, and I Googled it or I IMDb'd it recently, and it was only on like one season. I'm like, that's it? Felt like it was a lot longer. I might be misremembered, but it wasn't very long. So what else helped inspire the idea or push the idea forward besides the more recent TV shows? Any of this other stuff from beyond?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, everything. I mean, I'm a Whovian, so Doctor Who obviously inspired it.
Oh, can I interrupt real quick?
Certainly.
Twitch is playing all the Doctor Who in a row over a matter of weeks, and the more you watch on Twitch of it, and it's from the first Doctor forward, the more you watch, you get a chance each day to get an entry into winning tickets to go to London.
Wow.
Or a Doctor Who fan pack. If you look up the channel Twitch Presents, that's what it's on.
There you go. So anyhow, just so you know, in case now that you've been on Twitch, you've got that. Okay, go on with Doctor Who and what else you got there.
Well, I mean, I've always been a big fan of time travel, and like most geeks, what if I was able to do this? What if I could go back in time and do all of these? So, there were many, Time Cop inspired this.
I remember that one with the motorcycle in the desert.
No, that's Time Rider.
Oh,
Time
okay.
Cop was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So that was the '90s movie where he had to fix everything so Ron Silver wouldn't become president. So, but and a lot of the things I did is I did a little bit of research, so that I could figure out what the different time machines do. I mean, for instance, one of my time machines is called the Long Ago machine, simply because I can't call it the Wayback.
Right.
And so, Peabody and Sherman, and it's supposed to be funny and cute, but it's still a time travel show, And so it's. Go ahead.
Now that I start to think about it, I'm amazed by how many time travel shows we have had. And of course, going back to Doctor Who, which to me, that's so big, I didn't even think of it as a time travel show. It was its own thing, but yeah, if you think about it, when you're looking for the genre, it's absolutely a time travel show, obviously.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious where you fall on the paradox versus parallel worlds or realities or multiverse.
Paradox. No, it's paradox. It's interesting how to watch a paradox. I mean, there was a movie called Somewhere in Time. It was a movie with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour.
Yep.
Most ladies like it because it's a brilliant love story. Most geeks
it's a
like
really good movie, though.
It is, and it's a good. Well, it's brilliantly done. I mean, it has great actors. Christopher Plummer's in it, and and the whole concept of being able to hypnotize yourself back in time would be very interesting indeed. But the whole concept of the paradox. I like sitting there going and looking at the paradox of the watch. The whole watch is caught in a temporal loop because she gives it to him, he takes it back, and she ends up with it, and then she gives it to him, and he goes back, and she ends up with it. So it's caught in a loop. Where is the beginning of the watch? So with time travel, I like figuring out how to avoid temporal loops. I thought, like for instance, Back to the Future did very well avoiding paradoxes.
Right.
Now, there was a deleted scene where Biff brought the DeLorean back where he disappeared, and they deleted it, and I'm glad, because him disappearing would have created a paradox.
I remember when it first came out, and friends came to me, they're like, oh my God, it's so amazing with the concept of time travel with the alternate timeline. And I'm like, you kidding me? I have been discussing alternate timelines for years now, just because if you read comics, you've dealt with alternate timelines and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of obvious. It's basic physics that,
That's where you created What If and Elseworlds.
Oh,
Marvel had What If, and Elseworlds is DC.
Yeah.
And so,
by the way, a lot of the animated movies coming out now, you're getting at least one of those other Elseworlds, like Gotham by Gaslight, Batman Ninja, and they're pretty darn decent. DC does a good animated.
What the one I want to see though, because I love the comic, is Speeding Bullets. Are you familiar with that?
No, tell me.
Okay, Speeding Bullets is an Elseworld comic where what if the Waynes found Kal-El instead of the Kents? So Kal-El grew up as Bruce Wayne and therefore becomes Batman with Superman's abilities. It's an amazing comic. So when Joe Chill kills Bruce Wayne's parents, he fries him with his heat vision.
Like you do.
So it's like you do. That's right. And so I dig that so much.
See, I just can't imagine Kal-El being that damn moody. Okay, I don't have to imagine it. We saw Man of Steel, but in general in the comics, which by the way, I feel that and the color palette were the only flaws in Man of Steel. Is Kal-El, Clark, Superman? He's always been positive and confident, even when he had.
Yeah, they made him really dark.
Right. And I think that was the
Which
biggest
appeals to people, but that's not really what you think of when you think of Superman.
No.
Or me.
I have this whole take on the DCU. The problem is DC's trying to catch up with Marvel.
Right, and they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't.
Right.
That's exactly right. Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice would have been a great movie. And if it had been Batman versus Superman and Dawn of Justice would have been, if they'd have been two separate movies. Mm-hmm. They tried to do way too much in it. I like, unlike others, I liked the Justice League.
I did too. I liked Batman versus Superman too.
I did too. They just, there were so many scenes that were so.
And if I could interrupt, Kennedy, thank you, appreciate that, buddy. Kennedy tagged Talk of the Tavern in Crash City on a Facebook page with a shout out to some of the artists he knows. So.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
That's Kennedy out of New Jersey and New York. He does a lot of the steampunk stuff, and he gets around. Okay. So he's a good guy to have hanging around. Okay, I'm sorry. You're going on about Dawn of Justice.
No, it's okay. I'm just rambling a little bit, but
I'm interested. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the scene. Some of it was so. I don't know, like the scene with Jonathan Kent digging the dirt and the whole dream sequence. That could have been completely deleted.
Right.
And it held absolutely no value to the story whatsoever, in my opinion. Maybe,
No, I can agree with you. It's now, you'll notice people responded a lot better to Justice League because each character had their own color palette, mood, theme. So Superman did end with that confident, slightly quirky wit. And people were back in their comfort zone. And I love Zack Snyder's movies, by the way. I enjoy the hell out of them.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with what he does. I just felt he was the wrong one to put on Man of Steel. But other than that color palette and that lack of hope that Superman always has, it wasn't. He didn't hit Superman right. That's all.
No, and now I will tell you this: I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
I have no problem with him at all, and everybody else seemed to like him too.
Yeah, well, he's actually my favorite Batman now. I know, don't throw stones at me, but he is. He's actually my favorite Batman now. Yes, okay. As far as live action,
once we go
as far as the movies. No, that's different. That's a different matter altogether. That's like saying that Jack Nicholson is my favorite Joker, with when Mark Hamill obviously is my favorite Joker.
You know what, Jokers? I don't even compare because they're each different enough. They're their own. They're the same character, but they're their own. They stand on their own and they shine for different reasons.
I agree. I agree.
I think they bring out the different crazy aspects of Joker.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many, you can't see it all at once, so they break it up.
And Jared Leto, though some people might not like him as Joker, he absolutely did a wonderful job of modernizing it with the tattoos and the grill. And no,
I actually saw something not too long ago. My son is into a lot of film theory. That Jared Leto might actually be Tim Drake.
Interesting.
That Tim Drake might have been converted because and there was this whole reasoning why, and I looked at it and I was like, well, we'll see. We'll see. It would be
Maybe.
interesting if Tim Drake's Robin became Joker.
That would be it, especially with that costume with, Joker.
Hmm.
Of course, killed Tim Drake.
Hmm.
So, no, that's
Actually, Joker killed Jason Todd.
is that what
The Joker
okay.
killed Jason Todd. Yeah, Tim Drake was the third Robin.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Sorry. And
sure, that's okay.
what's the girl Robin's name?
I don't know. I've been out of it for a little while.
So have I.
I don't remember.
Hey, John, you still listening? What's the girl Robin's name? You run the place.
Yeah,
He'll let
help
us
us
know.
out, John.
Or Google
Yeah.
in a minute if we get that interested. But no, it's and we do have a Joker and Harley movie coming out. We also have a potential Harley with Poison Ivy movie coming out, and I don't know if they're working Batgirl into that or not. So it'll almost be like there's a comic
Carrie
book.
Kelly.
Thank you, Monkey. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And by the way, Monkey, I don't know if I've said it later, but thanks for keeping up with the subscriptions. I appreciate that, buddy. Oh, I
Awesome.
have cats all around me. So I have one between my keyboard and my laptop, one to the right of me, and I'm just in a cat heaven here. So I'm sorry, we totally tracked off of your game. Let's pop back over to that.
It's
And
quite
we'll
all right.
wander off on a
It's
keep
funny.
going.
I was thinking the same thing. We got to, well, it's okay. It's how you would talk in a tavern, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely how the show goes and how it would go hanging out in a pub. But as a guest, especially if we're just not getting to what you wanted to get to on your game, drag us back to topic. We don't mind, and then we'll wander off.
No worries.
And so on.
No worries. I'm enjoying. I'm just sitting back having a good time. Well, the game is,
Thank you, Goblin Monkey. Appreciate that. It's and 3 months subscribing. Awesome, buddy. He just
Does that
subscribed.
say interrupting cow?
He did that when he subscribed. He typed in "interrupting cow move," which is one of my favorite knock jokes. It's a great.
Yep. It's kind of like one of my favorite knock jokes. Is you want to hear the world's greatest knock joke?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead and start it.
Oh, hold on.
That's great. The greatest joke ever.
Absolutely.
Knock.
Who's there? And then the person is left standing going,
As
yeah.
opposed to saying Dwayne.
Now, Dwayne who?
Dwayne the bathtub. I'm drowning.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Where's the interrupting cow?
Yeah.
You asked for that one.
I know I did. Yeah. And you made me pay for it too. All right.
You're welcome. Okay, so
Yeah.
back to yours. By the way, what is the name of this game? Do you have a working title?
Split Paradox, Skewing the Timeline.
Split Paradox.
It's called Split Paradox, Skewing the Timeline.
Which I know you already
Absolutely.
said that, but I'll ask a couple more times because the more time. Okay, Andrea, I'm not gonna. For you. You know what? Andrea has requested a dad joke. What do you got there, Don?
Oh, you put me on the spot because
Mhm.
I normally have a whole lot of dad jokes.
You could do the one you
So-
did before.
Well, I could do that, but I'll tell you, I'll do it this way. So, I was at a funeral of my great uncle a while back, and it was during a real snowy weather, and I was a pallbearer, but it was so snowy and icy that only a few of us could actually show up to the funeral, and in the area where he was being buried was on this huge hill in a small town. The cemetery was up on a huge hill in a small town, and so we were able to get him up there. But there was only 4 of us carrying him, me, my cousin, my uncle, and some other cousin from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you tried to be a pallbearer for a funeral before, but caskets are not light. Well, it was very icy and very slippery, so the other cousin, he slipped and let go, and my cousin slipped and let go. Well, 2 people cannot hold it, so basically the casket got away. And guess what happens to a casket on ice and snow? It actually acts like a sled, and away it went. And it slid down the hill. And it slid out of the gate. and it hit the street, and it slid down the street on that real icy street, and it hit the curb, and it went through the drugstore doors, and it slid all the way through the drugstore, back, hit the pharmacy counter. The lid opens up. My uncle pops up and says, "Hey, you got anything to stop this coughing?"
Oh.
When I used to work restaurants in my late teens, early 20s, I would love to tell one of those really long, convoluted jokes that ends with a horrible pun, and I would take 20 minutes to an hour to tell it. To like, I was a cook, so when a waitress would walk up, I'd start it, and then each time she comes back, I'd give a little more, a little more. So after an hour, she'd finally get the punchline and be like, "I hate you."
Well, the fun thing about jokes
I
like
just,
that,
I'm sorry. I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
interrupt
Go ahead.
because Goblin Monkey. So Dad was washing the car with his son when his son asked, "Can we use a sponge instead?"
wow.
It makes me
Don't.
think of the movie Sing. If you haven't seen that, there's a scene where the
I have
koala.
not seen that.
Oh, it's a great movie, just fun. And yeah, the koala in a Speedo is washing cars by jumping in a soapy bucket and jumping on windshields and like kind of swimming across the windshield. And it's and of course you know what wet koalas look like. They're horrible.
Right.
Oh, good movie.
Right. Not much quality.
Very good. Very good.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay, I'll stop now.
Okay, so what was the name of the game again?
Split paradox.
Split paradox.
Skewing the timeline.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
So
And
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Okay, what I was going to say is we have another. That's one project that I'm working on.
Mhm.
I have two others. We've got a game called Going Twice, and Going Twice is a very simple card game based on buying storage lockers for auction,
Okay.
kind of like the old Storage Wars
My
on the
brother
TV
did that for a
show.
living, yeah.
And so there is a card game. It's just like a little family card game that's you can sit down and play in about 20 minutes and just see how much money you can gather. I think it'll do very well.
Mhm.
Because all of my games, I do want to appeal to I want my company to appeal to the hardcore gamer,
Mhm.
but not everybody's a hardcore gamer, and so I would like to have stuff that appeal to families as well.
Well, what I
And so,
finish your thought, and
I'm sorry.
then I'll interrupt after you finish your thought.
Okay, and so it's going to be interesting to find that balance, but and I also what I do a lot of times when I design my games,
Mhm.
I'll take an idea from what I'm currently reading or watching,
Right.
and I'm like, hey, that might be a good game.
Mhm.
That might make an excellent game, and just to see how that would work.
See, what I
I
found,
apologize for all that.
it's okay.
lightning
If you
hour.
need, take a drink of water, take a breath. I'll ramble for a minute while you.
All right, you go ahead and ramble.
When it comes to card games, whether it's Red Dragon Inn, I don't know if you've played that, or Munchkin even, if there are
I've
too many
played Munchkin.
rules, I'm suddenly turned off from learning it by myself. I'd rather go to someone else who knows what they're doing, do a simplified version, and then go, okay, now what are the rest of the rules? So I love a simple rule set. Now what I love even more is you have a core simple rule set. And then once you know how to play, there's these additional things you can.
Advanced.
Right. It's something I did,
Absolutely.
which I know I mentioned it to you when we spoke before the show. And for anybody else that doesn't know out there, I do have a card game that I designed with a few other folks. And originally we went in and it was this great concept, but it was almost intimidating with how creative the players had to be. So I actually took the rule set and inverted it. So now it was very simplistic and easy, and then I put the other version as the advanced rules. So when you have your
Gotcha.
clever group of people, you can do it this other way, which is more intricate and more complex and more clever. But the other way is nice and simple. That way, it's a drinking game for the college crowd or whoever's drinking, or the kids can play it. That's something else we did. We gave a list of the cards to pull out if you want it family friendly. So you can
Gotcha.
play it with your kids. But on the other hand, you could also have totally adult and raunchy and horrible that some of us really enjoy those.
Okay, well, or if you're playing CHA and you're going to make it family friendly, you pull all the cards out.
You
Pull
do.
out apples to apples.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember playing apples to apples where somebody goes, "We're going to play the adult version," and they had apples to apples, but we just made it horrible because we're gifted that way.
I understood.
It's but yeah, it's a beautiful thing when one game can cover multiple
Absolutely.
facets of it.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, one of the things that I try to do with that, and I was thinking about that. You know what? There are a lot. I have several friends that love the more complicated the game, the better.
right.
You know, and I for me personally, there are games that I think could be too complicated.
Hmm.
So complicated that you're sitting here going, "This isn't fun anymore."
See, that's the
Now, for some
strategy
people,
war
that's
games
great.
for me.
Hmm.
Axis and Allies when
Yeah,
I first started playing it back in
right,
the 80s. I'm like, oh man, this is a lot of rules. Can we just go play Risk? It's
right, absolutely,
a little easier.
absolutely. And
Um,
Risk is probably my favorite classic game, by the way. I love Risk.
Andrea's is Clue.
I love
It
Clue.
is.
I love Clue too. And so, but
You mentioned a
the
third
with
project though, also. So don't let's not
I
forget to talk about
did
that.
no. The third project is called Equipped. It's
Hmm.
a very simple card title, and it is a deck building game.
Hmm.
And in this deck building game, each player is a fantasy shopkeeper. And this was actually inspired by a uh, game that I play on my phone called Shop Heroes.
Okay,
And while it's not like Shop Heroes,
I got
not
you.
I mean it was inspired by Shop Heroes. Well, you have to be careful when something inspires you to do something else. You have to be careful that you don't infringe any copyrights.
Right, right. See, and I've had
Uh,
other
and,
people who say, for example, writers are like, I won't read anybody else's work while writing. I'm like, well, that's like saying I'm a painter, but I'm not going to look at sunsets when I'm painting one. No, go get inspired. Definitely get
absolutely,
precede,
absolutely,
um,
absolutely,
but just don't copy it. But
right.
pull the things you like best about it, or grab
Hmm.
ideas, or know what to stay
Well,
away from when you don't like that part.
Equipped. Well, Equipped is a deck building game where
Hmm.
each person is a fantasy shopkeeper,
Hmm.
and you're trying to bring heroes into your shop, and so or your deck.
Now, you
And
said
so,
fantasy as a medieval fantasy, correct? Okay,
correct.
so we're not pulling superheroes, we're pulling Conan or King Arthur,
Right, right,
what have you.
right.
Okay,
Well,
go on.
it's D&D meets. It's basically when a D&D party walks into a shop, and so, hey, I've got this axe over here. You want that? Yeah, I want that.
Hmm.
And so uh, we the local convention that we are at in Roanoke is called Mysticon.
Hmm. Great
So a little
con, by
shout
the
out
way.
to Mysticon.
Hmm.
It is a great.
Carla,
Uh,
Brenda, and all of them do a great job.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am actually on the gaming staff.
Excellent.
I they're actually there. It's so funny. There are people at that con that do not know me by my real name. For them, I am simply the Magic Man, and I run Magic the Gathering at Mysticon, and
Gotcha.
so yeah,
Do you
and
play
so
the
that in
song
my
as your
badge,
theme music when you walk in?
no, but it runs through my head the
Yeah.
entire
You just need to
weekend.
put it on your phone, and when you walk into the room, cue it up and walk in.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And so, yeah, so yeah, we have a great time at Mysticon, and it's just a lot of fun. But I also on Sunday this Sunday I introduced two of the three of my games because I have prototypes of all of them,
Hmm.
or of all three of them. And I didn't get to the third one, but I introduced Split Paradox again.
Hmm.
I'd introduced Split Paradox the year before, and then I reintroduced it again this year, and then I also introduced Equipped. And the one thing that is the highest praise for me when you're play testing my game
Mhm.
is if you tell me that it's fun.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know that I got to make some changes and
Sure.
fix some things and, do some things. But as long as you have fun,
Totally agree.
that's
It's
the
when we were doing ours, I think the best compliment we got was when we had a group play testing it. One of the girls playing it fell out of her chair because she was laughing so hard. And we're like, she doesn't have to
that's the
say a
best.
thing. We're thrilled.
That's the best. That is absolutely the best.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing Split Paradox, basically part of the game is there are 90 different event cards. I ran different events, put them on cards.
Mhm.
There are different events from the end of the Civil War until 2009. There's different things. Some things that were very important. Like the abolishment of the civil rights movement.
Right.
To things that were quirky, like I Love Lucy premieres.
Hmm.
And just different things like that. And what you do in the game, this is what makes it different too, is you end up with a timeline that's 10 to 12 cards long. That's the original timeline. Well, at a certain point in the game, when you do certain things in an event, you can disturb it so much that you create a split, which creates the alternate timeline like you were speaking about earlier.
Gotcha.
And I had people going, let's do the split. Let's create the split. I want to see the split. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, this is cool, because they're sitting there so excited about splitting the timeline. And and the one thing that I like about the game is that I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that's true.
I have never seen a game like this one game, which is why I'm trying to get it out as soon as possible. Again, thank you, Andrea, for putting out there. I really need artists. That is my one hang up right now. I need to get the artwork done. And, I have it designed. I've got it ready. I just need to get it. I need a graphic designer like really bad.
If I can interrupt, Monkey, if you're still
Sure.
listening, so Don is in Roanoke. Monkey works with VandaliaCon, which is in West Virginia, and it's a steampunk convention, but a time travel game would work wonderfully with steampunk because one of steampunk core things, one of the core tropes is time travel.
It's time travel.
So
All right.
there's another possible connection is going there. And by the way, that's another great group of people. That con, all the money they make goes to cancer research, usually colon or breast cancer, etc. So it's all
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love to support that kind of con in any way I can. So I plug them when I can.
I agree.
But yeah,
that's
might be somebody to, especially if by the time they come around, because I don't think they have a gaming room, but they'll make it available if there's interest, and somebody, of course, who could do this sort of thing. So it's one more contact.
Yeah.
One more now.
Absolutely. Well, and the con is in West Virginia, which is really not that far from me.
Mm-hmm.
So
just up 81.
Yes, it is.
And then turn left.
There is that. Or you can take 460 up to 77, and then you can go that way too.
Originally they were right by the Ohio border, and now I believe they're moving, if things go well, to Morgantown, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
It's that'll be a little less of a drive, at least less through the mountains and more.
Right.
More 81 and whatnot. So, are you trying to get Split Paradox first, or are you trying to do all three at once? What are you aiming for here?
Well, it was advised to me to try a simpler game first, but I think Split Paradox should hit Kickstarter first. I think that's I tried to do it last year, about a year ago. I tried to put it on Kickstarter, but the problem is I didn't have an artist, and so it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, you definitely need some pretty pictures to catch eyes.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I didn't do the Kickstarter correctly, and so it was a learning experience.
It is. Yeah, there's a curve on that one, and
It is. It is. And so it's okay. That was a year ago, so most people on Kickstarter probably have forgotten by now, and so so we might be able to hit it again and go from there.
can't hurt to try.
No,
Worst comes to worst, you're in the same place you started. So there you
right. But now I'm going to make sure it's done right this time.
go. Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to make sure there's a good video, and I actually want to have a working copy of the game, a produced copy of the game, before we try that again.
So when you say prototype, because I know our alpha games tend to be, you go get the 3x5 cards, and you write on the back. Whereas your beta, you tend to have like a first run print or something like that.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have a first run print. I have my cards. My prototype cards tend to be XL printing on front of a Magic card in a sleeve.
Okay.
And so it works well. It's workable, and so and the sleeves tend to hold everything together really well. And you can also make changes in an instant when you have to.
Right.
So you can mark on the card, pull it out of the sleeve, mark on the card, slip it back in. And so that tends to, that makes it a lot more playable, because Magic sleeves with Magic cards tend to shuffle really well.
Very
so
true. They slide right.
And I have enough beat up commons that I can. I'm good on that for a while.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, you get the ones with the solid back, so you don't even need a backer card.
Correct. Correct.
So what's your next step? Besides, is it artists or is there something else?
Oh, it's got to be it. Well, I currently, to help fund this project or to help fund this company, I currently have a used game store on eBay.
Okay.
And
so the link is in the links that Andrea's been posting.
It is. Yeah. Yes, it is. And yep, eBay, STR, Crashcity Games. So and I've got a pretty good reputation on there, and I actually was able to pick up some stock, and I've got a lot of things that gamers like to have.
Okay. Now in 3 minutes we're coming up on our refill break. So would you like to stay with us for the second hour?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to do that then. So I'll interrupt us in about 3 minutes. We'll go to a video and let us get up and stretch our legs, refill our waters or Mountain Dews or whatever we have. So is it just you working on the game, or do you have a staff? Do you have a crew?
Well, my youngest son loves to help me with the game. He actually designed all the cards for Split Paradox.
Okay.
Not Split Paradox. I'm sorry. Going Twice, the Storage Wars game. My son actually went and found the merchandise and put the numbers in, and yeah, he designed a lot of the cards for that game. And so it was, it was pretty cool, because he loved it. And my youngest son is 13.
Oh, okay.
He's 13 years old. My oldest son has done some artist for me, or some art work. He is an artist, but he's not a graphic artist, at least not yet. And so he's done some drawings for me. And they both help me with the eBay stuff, which they both seem to like that very much. And Dad pays good, so that helps.
That does help. It's I'm looking for a job too. I'll call you later.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
It's what else can we cover in a minute, Andrea?
Oh, I don't know in about a minute, but I was going to say, is there a certain style you're looking for? What type of art? Because there's some people that do only certain types of art, like only people or only animals or chibi or realistic. So,
okay. The thing is, with the projects that I have, and I'll wrap this up very quickly, because I actually have talked
right when we get back to. So
sure. I'm looking for different styles of art. I can probably use a lot of different styles, because I also have a vampire game, I have a gladiator game, I have a dream game, so we can and we can talk more about that on the next
There
hour.
you go. Let's jump
So if
over.
you're an artist, no matter what your style, contact him.
Yeah, it can't
Maybe
hurt
he
that.
can
Yeah.
use you.
Okay, and okay. So John says he's back with customers. Sent some art samples, so you should have an email waiting for
Awesome.
you there. And we're going to jump into a
Awesome.
refill break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. So don't go anywhere. And
Remember
Don,
to mute.
don't forget to mute yourself.
I
Okay,
got it.
we'll be back in a minute,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and go on with the artists, because Andrew is pointing out some good points that some artists are going to think, oh, well, I don't have what they want. I can only do line art. Or, I can only do
Yeah.
graphic. Go ahead, Andrea.
Something I want to bring up, because maybe you find a great artist, but they don't know how to do the digital stuff. But you have someone that is a great digital person that can convert it, but they're not good at coming up with things. So maybe you can find someone to work together. I'm not sure.
Keep in mind when you design comic books. Hey, Des.
He does.
Are you sneaking in for a quick peek? It's and keep in mind with comic books, you have somebody that does the line art, somebody does layout, somebody who does colors, somebody who does shading. So this is a process that can happen in any format you're doing, not just comics. So we just want to encourage all artists. Reach out, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, and also too, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a good critic of art. I just know what I like.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I may like your style, even if you don't think it's all that great.
Mm-hmm.
Or your style might fit a particular project that we're working on. Because like I said, we have 6 different projects that we're working on now. Also in the future, and I've actually talked to Rod Belcher about helping with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether he's going to be able to or not, but we're going to do a story game very similar to Tales of Arabian Nights. The story game is called Forever Noir, and it is a detective game with a storybook flip through that could do like choose your own adventure. Well, for that I need an author, and of course I talked to my good old buddy Rod Belcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and plug my friend Rod
Plug
Belcher, R.S. Belcher, and the Six Gun Tarot, and Nightwise, and the man is amazing, and he's a good friend, and has been a friend of mine for many years.
And just for all the viewers, we've had him on the show before. That is available
Absolutely.
via YouTube or in our archives. And we'll probably have him back on. And I have read his books. He's just a great author. The books are
He is
well written.
I mean,
interesting.
And he's fun.
He is fun.
He is fun. You don't believe it? Just ask him. He'll tell you.
He's in one of our refill breaks, and he's like, "This is author R.S. Belcher, and I have no pants on." So that alone is enough to kind of define his personality there.
Yeah, things that make you go. Ugh. Anyway.
So you said that you're going to bring about a Kickstarter with
Mhm.
one of your games, but you need an artist.
Mhm.
What particular are you looking for? Someone to do cards, someone to do boards, someone to do the box. Just give us a little bit about
Yes.
what you're looking for.
And style of art.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's start with Split Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Split Paradox is kind of cartoony. It's not real serious. Split Paradox kind of makes a little bit of fun of itself. The characters are a little bit, the time traveler is a little bit cartoony, and the event cards are going to be newspapers.
Okay.
For say, old newspapers that says extra. Twitter was launched in whatever date in 2004,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's going to list how much value each one has. And so there's not with Split Paradox. There's different kinds of cards. I mean, we're going to be designing approximately 200 different cards.
Mm-hmm.
But like the event, 90 of them are event cards. So if you have a template already, then all you got to do is plug in the date, the name, and the numbers, and everything else looks the same.
And if I can
So we're
interrupt
not
real quick, Amy, thanks
Sure.
for jumping in. We're talking about card game design with our guest Don. So we're talking about that, and that's where we are. Now, if you want random stuff, hang out for the next hour. In the third hour, we go totally random. So, but good to see you, and thanks for following. Okay, so what kind of art style are you looking for see, I've got my list here. A Split Paradox.
Okay, like I said, kind of a cartoony style.
So like Phil Foglio?
I'm sorry.
Phil Foglio?
You're talking about, let's see, Phil Foglio is, yeah, I know who you're talking about. My brain just went on a freeze. I can see the Penguins clear as day, but I can't
Well,
think of the
he
name.
did.
Bloom County.
No, that's Burke Breathe.
No.
Phil
Oh, I'm sorry.
Foglio did the covers for the later Myth Adventure books. He did some of the Magic cards in, I think, the third set. So
Gotcha.
in the 90s, and he
Yeah, I know
also
exactly what
does.
I'm talking about, don't I? Okay, anyway.
What's the name of the online comic strip? Steampunk Girl. Um, Let me look it up real
I
quick.
had to get off of mute. Girl Genius.
Girl Genius. Thank you. That's exactly what I
You're
was
welcome.
looking for. But yeah, it's still it's cartoony, but it's still realistic and pretty. It's a nice blend. Um,
Hmm.
so, or are you
I have
looking like superhero cartoony or Bugs Bunny type cartoony?
probably more kind of like minion cartoony,
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay.
kind of deal with that. I mean, basically what I was looking at uh, from the prototypes. Basically what I did is I went online, and for the prototype, I mean, I just found random pictures, and I went, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Yeah, that's the scientist, and there's the politician, and there, and then that's kind of the way I did that. And I feel like it flows together, but the problem is that I don't have to go back and pay everybody to
Right.
use that particular style. I would prefer to have an artist and have it all flow the same way,
I agree.
because I am nobody. I am nobody's artist, and so the good thing here's one of the things that a lot of artists are going to like is they're going to have a lot of creative control. I might say, yes, I like this. No, I don't like that.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to sit there and detail out what I want. You're going to be able to have a lot of artistic control and creative control on it. And I'm more of a big picture kind of guy myself.
Mhm.
And so once I look at it and I go, okay, I like that. That's good. Or you might want to adjust this, and you might, and so mainly, I need to get somebody to get something print ready, so that I could put it into the supplier, so we can go ahead and get started. And that's kind of, because there are several companies out there. I'm going to submit it to one company that will print me one copy,
Right.
and then once I get the copy, then we'll play that, and then that's when we'll create the video to go ahead and Kickstarter. To go ahead and get Kickstarter going. That way I can show actual cards, actual product.
So,
So,
oh, go ahead, Andrea.
have you started advertising for artists?
A little bit. Not.
Where?
My problem is that I'm still new to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a guy with an idea. But I also am going to need the artist for their expertise on bleed overs and card size and things like that I don't quite understand.
Right.
And so
Well-
no, I have not started advertising other
Okay.
than what we're doing right now.
Oh, yeah, yes. I was going to say, I know everyone loves Facebook. You can advertise on Facebook, but that is not your best resource.
No, it's not.
I know you're in Roanoke, right?
I am.
Okay. And I know they have comic stores and they have all kinds of things.
Mhm.
I think it would be good to make a flyer and see if they'll put it up there, because that's where a lot of the creative people are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a good point.
Just some
Libraries.
thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or
that's a good idea.
I'm not sure about the schools up there, if there's colleges or art schools or any of that, but that can also be an
Well-
option.
Well, one of the things now, too, it was interesting. I mentioned Magic the Gathering, and there was a convention in Roanoke a couple of weeks ago, and I met like 3 artists there, and I handed them my card, and I said, "This is real. This is not BS. I have projects that I need an artist for." Thankfully, I do have one response. So I do believe I have an artist,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean I'm done yet,
No.
because I need to get I need to get Split Paradox going, but I also have two other projects. And then after that, I've got 3 other projects.
Well, also, if you
And
get
so,
3 artists that have a similar style, then it's very easy to put them in the same game to work together, and that way they have less work per person. Or even if they have 3 completely different styles. For example, your newspapers are one definitive style, whereas the characters
correct.
are going to be a different style.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
there is playroom where you can bring in multiple artists, and
Absolutely.
if we look at Magic the Gathering, they have dozens and dozens of artists,
Absolutely.
but it's a certain style. And as long
Well,
as you have
see,
matching styles, it blends.
Well, and also if you go to, and you could probably go to websites or things, they probably have boards, any art schools or art programs in high schools. A lot of times you could find the next big artist and get them without having to pay the next big the price
Mm-hmm.
for the.
well, and the thing is I prefer. I think one of the things is, and I've kind of been, and I hate to use the word snobbish, but I've kind of been a little snobbish. I wanted to meet the artist I'm dealing with, which is why I haven't trolled the internet for them. I'm a relationships guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I get it.
thankfully, there is Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully there is Skype, so there is that. But it would be nice to have someone to sit down with and pull the cards out and say, this is the cards. This is how I envision it to be played. This is what I want. And you will do. And again, too, there might be some things, because I kind of want to be hands-on a little bit too. If you create me a template, then I could enter the names and the numbers, or get somebody to do
Right.
that, because that's just entering data.
Right.
And so, an artist might not be tied up so much with, well, I got to make 90 event cards. No, you need to make 1.
Right. And then it's
You
just
don't need to
plugging the
make
headline
90.
in.
You need to make 1. Correct.
Yeah.
And then I can get someone that does data to enter in the specific cards themselves, because the event cards will be a newspaper background, most likely without a picture.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about having even extra art for that.
Right.
The big art, there are secret agenda cards, and that could be just a little file folder, like the old Clue file folder.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody in the 3 of us likes Clue really well, so I thought I'd mention that. But the old file folder style, and there's so many things that can be done, and then there are expansions.
Yes.
I mean, I can go back before the Civil War. I can go back to right now, most of what I've done has been mostly American history. I can go into world history.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of different things.
Or you could hyper focus on one decade or one
Correct.
event with everything around it. So we're looking at,
Correct.
rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a whole history thing by itself for an expansion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of places.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually like that idea. I'll keep that one if you
Write
don't.
it down. Absolutely.
But and then with the game itself, when I go to Kickstarter, we're going to do some. As one of the prizes, you get an event card that's your event. That would be one of the rewards. It could be your birthday,
Right.
and we would assign values. And you give a little extra, and it'd be that there's your own event card that would be playable in the game. So there's a lot that can be done, and and again, we've talked mostly about Split Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
We have equipped. I need fantasy drawers, people that can draw weapons, and people that can draw hammers and anvils and peasants and blacksmiths and the whole kit and
Armor and
caboodle.
wands and pestles and
You got-
mortars and
Right.
Oh, my.
traps and
Oh my, yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Lions, tigers, and bears, and no, okay.
So let me ask you, what are
but-
your top 3 card games to play?
Right now, the only 3 that I have that are ready, that I can do something with, is Split Paradox.
No. That aren't yours.
Oh. Oh, my top three.
You could go with top
Uh,
20 if you
Magic.
must, but
Well, I'm a huge Magic. I'm
Mhm.
a Magic guy. Although lately I haven't been real happy with what WotC has done with it, but I kind of like Uno. You
it's a
know,
good game.
I love Rook.
You know, I've
Rook
never
is an
played
ex.
Rook.
It's like spades. It's very similar to spades.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
yeah, it's um, there. Then there's uh, I don't know. I mean, there are so many games that I love. I mean, I like board games and I like card games. I like designing card games because for some reason cards are easier
Mhm.
than creating a board and pieces. And I mean, I probably will get into that because, well, to be frank, the Forever Noir,
Mhm.
that will be a board.
Oh, okay.
Um, the Gladiator game that we're doing it's called Ludus, and that will be a board game also. It'll actually be a tile game where you can actually set up the arena, kind of the way you do with Settlers of Catan.
Mhm.
So that way, I like creating games that are different every time you play them.
Yes.
So make you know movable pieces make board games different every single time. That's what's great about Catan. Is Catan is different every single time you play it.
Mhm.
And so the more the House on Haunted Hill. I think I got that right.
I
The
believe it is.
Betrayal at House on Haunted Hill.
There you go.
I never can't get the name of that game right, but everybody knows what I'm talking about because the rooms lay out differently every single time. And so that's one of the things that I like about Split Paradox is Split Paradox is different every single time. And so that's the great thing about Split Paradox. Um, I've got another game. It's called Boogeyman versus the Sandman. It's a dream game. It's a storytelling game, but it's kind of like there's a card game called Once Upon a Time,
Mhm.
in which it's a storytelling game in which you play the card and you have to tell the story within it, and you gain points on that. This will be very similar, except that there is a boogeyman. There is a flip card in the middle. One is a boogeyman, and the one is the Sandman. And with the Sandman, um, if it's on the Sandman, that's a good dream, and when it's on the boogeyman, that's a bad dream,
A few
a
comments
nightmare.
from folks, if I may. Uh,
Uh huh.
Talking Toey, who is Win Mercer, who helped design Awkward Compliments with me, and an author in her own right, a game designer in other rights,
Awesome.
says, "Hi everyone, catching up with After Stream Whispers because she just finished her Twitch stream. So now we have her full attention. She says, I love Once Upon a Time." And
Awesome.
Goblin earlier mentioned Facebook advertising can be really effective, but it has to be set up correctly, and that could be a real pain. Yeah, and I have found with
I
a
don't.
Mhm.
Oh Lord. No. I am. I hate to say this. I'm actually done. I'm absolutely done with Facebook
I am
advertising.
too. Now, if
There you
Monkey
go.
got together with me and went, "No, let me show you the right way to do it," I would sit and listen because
Oh
absolutely
sure.
I'm willing to learn in
Absolutely.
case, he can show me a miracle way that I just haven't ever thought of. Um,
Well,
but yeah, choosing your
that would.
target audience is difficult.
Well, and not only that. I mean, I boosted when I got my website going. I boosted a post with my website on it.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was getting all kinds of wonderful hits and things. People loving the page and liking liking the post, and I had 300 and some views and 50 likes, and
Hmm.
it was starting to really roll until I got to looking at the people that were liking my page
Hmm.
and noticed that they were fake. And I was so aggravated. I had a $25 budget. At $14, I stopped it immediately.
See,
Paid Facebook their $14 and said, I'm done with that.
we went and saw a movie the other day, and
Hmm.
before that, Facebook had advertisements before the movie started, and they're all like,
Wow.
"Oh, Facebook started because we found friends and people like us and blah blah blah." And then we faced clickbait and fake news and all this, but we're fixing that. And I'm like, Facebook, it's a little too late. You went for the money, and you've lost your audience, and the new generation is moving on to the new apps. So that alone is enough to kill them. It might take 20 years, but it's going to happen.
Are you on Instagram?
Okay, well, I'm an old guy.
Mhm.
I do have an Instagram account, but I don't know how to use it yet.
We can.
So I have someone that I've been talking to, and I'm going to go ahead and plug them too. There is a free government agency under the Small Business Administration. It's called SCORE, and they offer free business advice from retired business people. And I have this wonderful lady who is a social guru, and she and I are working together to get my social media going.
Good.
Her advice, though, right now is to find an artist because I have no product yet.
Right, that's true.
Other than my eBay, and and again, the eBay is a sideline. One of my sons will take that over one day.
Mhm.
That is not what we're really, what we're really trying to accomplish.
Not what you want to do when you grow up.
You got it. I mean, the basis of Crash City games in the future will be designing my own games. We're also going to do some white labeling. And so, if somebody, for those of you out there who's like, I'd love to design a game, I don't know what to do. Well, we'll white label it for you. Just a little developmental fee.
To clarify for everyone, what a publisher does for books, that's what he wants to do for games. Basically, you bring your game, they make sure it's a tight, clean packaging, playable, etc. after you do most of the work, but then they use their platform to get your game out there, and they take a small percentage. It's essentially a publisher for card games or board games or whatever you decide on.
Right,
by the way,
whatever you do.
Toei says Amazon advertising works quite well if you're selling your product there. I can vouch for that. And yeah, I can say that too. Google AdWords takes a lot of research to figure out what you're doing, but it can be effective because of search engine optimization, etc. When you're on Amazon, whether you're advertising a book or a card game, yes, because Amazon is one of the biggest, most effective search engines in the world.
Right.
I think they might
are a search engine.
They are. And they collect information constantly, every second. This is why when you buy something on Amazon, suddenly on Facebook, Amazon ads for what you just bought
There it is.
Right.
And it suggests other things that are similar. So yeah, that is effective, but there is a learning curve. And
Absolutely.
you can go in blind.
Well, there are a lot of
Go
there are a lot of videos on YouTube showing how to do things with Amazon. There's been a lot of talk of FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. I'm not sure that I would ever want to do that because I'm all about customer service, and I want to make sure that the product leaves my hands the way I think it should leave my hands, is packaged the way I think it should be packaged, and is sent to my customer the way it should be.
Control freak in the good way.
Well,
I'm
when it comes to that, when it comes to that,
in a good way. There's hands-on
I
makes a
spend
difference.
a little bit extra money to package my stuff for eBay. I mean, I use bubble wrap, and I use box folders, and
Sorry, I'm.
Thank you very much. I saw that Talking Towie. I am an FBA Amazon seller, so if you ever need tips, just ask. Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
I
By
really
the way,
appreciate that.
Newsletter. I preach this from the mountaintops. A newsletter where people sign up and give you their email address specifically because they want to hear about your stuff. This is a great way. Unlike Facebook, where they like your page because they're your friend and they don't really care what you're doing, or the Facebook algorithm, they never see your damn posts.
Right.
Whereas a newsletter, you control it. Andrew, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to get back to the Instagram thing, but with the newsletter, because you go to Mysticon and you do gaming stuff, you can always bring your little tablet or laptop and have people sign up for your newsletter there. So then they get all the information, but don't bombard them like several times a week.
Well, they also know with your newsletter, you could tell them where you're going to be play testing your game, that you need artists, that you're got this next game coming up, or this one just came out, or this one's on sale this week. So it
Right.
allows you to hyper focus on your 50 to 5,000 or 50,000 people.
Mhm.
Also, what I was getting to with Instagram, it's very simple. You can only do it from your phone. I haven't done the app to do it on the computer yet, but it's very visually based. So even if you don't post much, you can go on there and use the search feature and look for artists, and you can see their work there and maybe connect. Are you on LinkedIn?
Not yet. I'm working on that one. That's
LinkedIn.
Go
Well,
ahead.
that is it's like Facebook for businesses.
Hmm.
So that's always a good one. Just throwing
Okay.
that out.
Give me just a second here. Green Goblin says, Facebook, you can set certain pages to show on top of your feed no matter what. Yes, Monkey, you can do that, but Facebook will do updates and suddenly wipe that all out. I've had it happen before. And also, you then have to get your audience to do extra work. Green Goblin
Also,
also,
if there's ever a link taking you out of Facebook, chances are no one's going to see it
the algorithm
because they don't
drops
want
you
people
down.
to leave
So-
Facebook.
Yeah, somebody told me that the other day, and of course, my post that I boosted went to my website. Imagine that. And so, yeah.
A few other
Yeah.
comments, I'll read them all and then we can comment on them. Toei says,
Yeah,
I need
go
to
right
go
ahead.
back into your archives, watch your past social media, how to stream, and learn more about Instagram. Toei, you can also just call if you want the, the concentrated version without all our silly jokes in the between. Toei says also Facebook limits those to 30 top accounts too, which annoys me. And Green Goblin says, the recent changes to the Instagram algorithm is garbage now, can no longer sort by time posted. Green Goblin, the
Wow.
biggest benefit of Instagram is the hashtags are an effective method.
It is.
But yeah, none of these are perfect, or they're out to make their dollar as opposed to help you make your dollar.
Right.
Hashtags, a lot of people just follow certain hashtags, so that's good to remember. Plus, I found certain hashtags, people have it automatic where they repost or things like that. And it's very visual. So if you have anything, once you get something for your game, have a picture of it, put it up there, that draws people in. So.
By the way, Green Goblin reinforces what we said. Agreed, I have an Instagram just for my car. I've gotten 2 sponsors since May, all due to hashtags.
Right.
So when you want, if you're the woman that's helping you doesn't know enough about this, just drop us an email or give us a phone call and go get on the phone with me and tell me a little bit more about this. And it's a 10-minute talk, and from there it's you do the work.
Cool.
I'm still learning, but
really
I've learned a
appreciate
lot
that.
so far that's helped. So
That's awesome. That is
Yeah, 'cause
awesome.
that's something we're constantly trying to do the same thing. Because the more audience we get for us, the more audience we get for our guests like you. And
I appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah. It's
That's amazing.
and also the more friends we make, the more you guys support us, and we raise each other up in the long run.
Absolutely.
It's,
And that's all, that's the important way to do things. I mean, I'm not fully doing this full time yet. I'm actually still working a job, which I'm in sales. But one of the things that one of my biggest mantras and my biggest beliefs is that I do business with people that do business with me. If you spend money with me, then I spend money with you when I need your service.
right.
I drove 45 minutes to have tires put on my car because they bought a water machine from me.
Yeah. It's
people
are loyal.
I drove 30
people.
minutes to a physical therapist because they spent a lot of money with me. And why are you doing that? Well, they spent money with me. That's just that's the way I feel.
it's community. It's supporting each other. I get that.
Absolutely.
And FaceTime,
Absolutely.
not the app, the actual action of FaceTime is invaluable. Connecting with people.
Absolutely.
And like I said, people will be loyal to people over a product. Some people are product loyal, but almost everybody are person loyal. And
Absolutely.
I love Rod's books, but I am more loyal to him than Brandon Sanderson that I love because I know Rod.
Hmm.
I've talked to Rod. I've interacted.
Personally, yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And it,
That's
it,
right.
it makes you want to support these folks and help them because, yeah, you know they're just a
Absolutely.
human being and you want to encourage that shit.
Hmm. Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely. Yeah, Rod, Rod, like I said, what was funny, Rod and I connected back when he owned Cosmic Castle here in
mhm.
Roanoke. And we didn't realize that, at the time, we didn't realize that we knew each other, but we had gamed back in the day. And so, there is that. Uh, I stopped to read too. I was looking at
It happens.
Towie's post there.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
actually I want to
but
comment on that, but I want to let you
mhm.
finish your thought before I do.
My thought's pretty much finished. I mean, Rod and I have been friends for a long time. He's a great guy.
hmm And by the
Thoughts
way,
finished.
Thursday, tomorrow, uh,
Hmm.
oh, wait a minute. Who do we have tomorrow? No, I was thinking we met Daniel through Rod, but we didn't. We met um, a couple of his other gaming buddies, and we're now gaming with them. So, there's
Cool.
other benefits too besides business. And Toei says, I both helped a brand new streamer and was invited to a cool streaming group today. Love the interaction that cooperation brings. And that's something else I've done with some of the people we've had on, as well as other friends that go, Travis, I want to Twitch on stream or stream on Twitch. And I'm like, okay, well, I created a Facebook private message group as opposed to a group that anybody can go join. And I pulled a half dozen people in going, here's a resource for you. You can now, post in this message group anytime, and I'm going to see it and I'm going to read it. And if you have a question, I can answer it. But the best thing is, it's not just me. It's five other people going through the same thing as you, and you guys in 3 months might be answering my questions because you've done things differently. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. How do I do that?
Hmm.
And
Yep.
I did a shout out for Toei.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone click on there and go follow her page. Check out the game, and it's pretty cool.
She is
Awesome.
fun, dry wit, a little bit silly, keeps the conversation flowing. I've seen some streamers, you click on their thing, it's silence, and they're just doing something on their computer. And they don't talk. Toei's talking the whole time. Um, and it's definitely
Awesome.
a fun thing to watch. It's not television entertainment in the sense that you're going to sit down and not interact. The interaction brings the conversation, vice versa. So it's good stuff. Asked to see her weird hot dog man. She does also like theme park building in simulators, and she created this really
Wow,
oddball hot dog guy selling hot dogs. He's
that's
creepy.
funny.
Yeah.
It's fun. I also did a shout out for mine because I'm trying to get 50 followers.
Because
So,
that's in Twitch, you have streamers, then you have affiliates that have reached a certain point, so many hours streamed, so many followers, etc. And once you hit that, they can throw bits, they can subscribe, so it now becomes a financial revenue stream. Um,
Gotcha.
with both meanings of the word stream there. And once you get to a certain point past that, you can become a partner, which even has more benefits. But it is time and effort and work, and it looks
Absolutely.
fun and easy, but you'll be suddenly spending 20,
it's
30,
not.
40 hours a week.
Well, I just tabbed it into my another tab. So when we're done, I'll go over there and I'll
Thank you,
follow
Toby.
I'll follow the channel.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Toey. Oh, and just so everyone knows, on my channel tonight, we'll be doing some Star Wars Edge of the Empire
Tabletop
role play. Yeah.
Cool.
Family time.
So
Everyone gets to
Nice.
join.
yeah,
Nice.
and it is a very
I
light-hearted.
love role playing.
Oh, so do
I
I. And
love role.
I have to limit myself from buying new ones because I have like a half dozen that I own. There's D&D Tephra, which is a steampunk one based on a 12-sided dice. That's all you use. Marvel Superheroes from the 80s with the phase
I
rip.
play that with my sons.
I love it because it's so simple, quick, easy. You could do a
Yes.
20-minute game or a 2-hour game. You can continue it on or make it very episodic.
Right.
White Wolf, Vampire the Masquerade, and the others have followed. And then Star Wars Edge of the Empire, and I want to say there's one more, but I can't think of it at the moment. So
The superhero one.
it's the Marvel superheroes. Yeah, so we've got medieval fantasy, space opera, superhero,
I have Silver Age
Steampunk,
Sentinels back here. I
and
have other stuff.
dark gothic horror. Toei, wasn't you that wrote for Tunnels and Trolls in the 80s? And Toei says, I have to get my dungeon written for Meta Arcade. That's my big goal for this week/weekend. And Toei did just join another thing recently. I played your modules, Toei. I'm curious which one you did, because 13 years old in the bedroom by myself, Tunnels and Trolls was solo D&D. So when you couldn't get a group together because of how the world worked then, yeah, I was able to play it by myself. But she's doing essentially almost parody newscasting with a new group. And that's about all I know about it. It's not released yet. It's not out there. They're doing the work before you do that stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and supporting that. And just with her dry wit and humor, I'll be entertained.
A friend of mine is actually he used to write for Traveler. He now has created Clement Sector, and that's John Watts. I'm not sure if you're familiar with John or not. I think some of you may be.
I know Traveler,
John's
but not John.
Yeah, John Watts. And so he's and it was funny. John actually helped play test. He and his wife Wendy actually play tested Split Paradox with me. Nice. And his response, which excited me a great deal coming from him, was, "I would buy this game." And so he said, "Let me know when it's ready. I will buy it." So.
And Toei says it is live now, thefakest.com. But I'm curious. You mentioned John's new game. What was the name one more time?
Clement Sector.
What's that about?
It's very similar to Traveler.
Okay, so
very similar to Traveler.
Hardcore science sci-fi.
Yes, but I don't know. I was introduced to Traveler through playing with John Watts, and it was just, I mean, he is an amazing game master. He comes to Mysticon. That's the only time I get to see him. He comes up here once a year because he lives in Georgia and we're up here in Virginia. So, but yeah, John's a good friend of mine, and he's given me a lot of advice on my games and stuff like that. So it's good to have input like that.
It is, yeah, and put on your big boy pants and get your thick skin on, because you want them to be harsh. You want them not to be cruel, but you want them to tear it up because they know.
Absolutely. When I do a play test for the game for the first time, I lay it on the table and I said, break it. And I mean that. I break it. Yeah. Because if you can break it, I want to know how you broke it. See, that's the problem with some of these, Magic has this problem. There's cards that are broken. Because no matter how much you play test it, you can still find ways. Gamers are brilliant. They figure out ways to break your stuff that you never even thought of it.
Yeah. Which is
Desmond Devers says games are sometimes fun to break.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
absolutely they are. And as a game designer, you want people to do it. Just like if you're a writer, when somebody reads your work, you want them. If they're not grammar people, you want them to tear up the plot and show you where your inconsistency are, your loose threads that you never tied up and left hanging. And if they're not the plot type person, you want them to tear the heck out of your grammar and make it right.
Absolutely.
Or so you can. Andrea?
Well, okay, I just want to say, Des says games are sometimes fun to break.
Right.
Okay. And you said you have beta testers. Is it just your friends, or do you have a group, or do you do a calling beta testers?
I have a couple of groups. I beta. Well, I do. I do beta test at Mysticon.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a segment of the day and a table where I invite people to come play my game. And then I do have a group of friends that I've actually got two different group of friends that I allow to play my games, and I tell them
super friends.
Well, yeah, something like that.
Go on.
Yeah, they're definitely, yeah, they're definitely super, absolutely. Well, at least they're Wonder Twins, but yeah. Anyhow,
off from Space Ghost,
Are
especially
you
with the monkey.
yeah, no doubt.
are you going to be play testing, beta testing any at Mysticon next year?
Oh, absolutely. I hope to actually have the copies of. I actually hope to have working copies of Split Paradox, and then I will bring out. I'll bring out Equipped again. Equipped did really well as an alpha test,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually ran really smoothly its first time because in Mysticon. It played really well its first time. I discovered that the decks are going to have to be split into levels for it to work better because people were getting high level cards, but they couldn't get them, and so the whole lineup had all these high level cards, and it made the game go a lot longer. So I'm going to have to set them up at levels to where you can slowly get them.
Idea at you.
Absolutely,
Because
please.
you have that same issue with Munchkin, where you get some high-level cards that you just can't use. But, of course, if you... Welcome back, John. If you make sure you've got 40% low-level cards, 30%, or 50% low-level, 30% mid-level, and then 20% high-level, that should help even things out. Where you might not need to split it, but I don't know. I haven't played your game.
Well, I was just thinking, we should be at Mysticon again next year. We'll have to track you down and play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I usually spend most of my time in the gaming area, actually. So, it is I run, like I said, I run Magic on Fridays and Saturdays, and then Sunday from 10 to 2, I'm running my games. So, it's, and I tend to look, there's one guy I tend to look for, his name's Greg Porter. He's a game designer as well. And Greg just loves tearing my games up, and he's good at it. And I learn a lot from him. Greg and I are pretty good friends, and but he'll sit there and he'll just try to bust my game all to pieces.
If I may suggest, in Roanoke there's a comic book store, and I want to say it's B&D Comics.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It is. It's B&D Comics. So it's and I've known Terry Balcom for years.
There you go. Okay, so they might be willing to set it up so you're not just getting your groups together once a year. You're able to do it year round.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way,
that's true.
Kennedy, welcome back. Des, Bell Curve, absolutely, and John says he'll try to get to Mysticon also. We'll have like a whole gang of us middle-aged plus nerds running around.
We were there this year. We did a broadcast, so
we were the first thing on the schedule. Like 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. So, but we still had a fun broadcast. It was only
we did a couple things throughout the weekend. So
yeah, then we did a lot of videos.
Yeah,
interviews.
Last year I actually had to go to this year when I was at Mysticon, I had to go to I was going to get there real early, and I had to go to Harrisonburg, which is 2 hours north for the day, and I got stuck up there, and so I didn't get back to Roanoke till 6, and had to be at Mysticon for like 7 o'clock. Well, actually this year it was 8 o'clock, but it still worked out pretty well.
Stay dry, Wayne. Good luck running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Toey's taking today's UPS delivery out in the rain. Or out of the rain. Okay, so you're grabbing it off the front porch. Don't you hate it when they leave it on the steps where it can get rained on instead of bringing it up to the door?
Desmond Evers says Mysticon falls on birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
it's your party.
Yeah. Well, interesting. My birthday's in February also. I'm a little earlier, but yeah, I'm one of them February babies too.
My
So
son is on the 10th. So, but Andrea's
mine is the 9th.
okay. Very
My
good.
birthday is usually the weekend of RavenCon.
RavenCon or
Which,
Steampunk Empire
It's
Symposium.
Steampunk Symposium, yeah.
well, the cool thing that I find about my birthday is I share a birthday with Tom Hiddleston.
Nice, nice. You look like him. I could
Yes.
see it.
Oh, yeah, especially with the beard. Awesome. So Desmond Evers is the 24th. So that's cool. Very cool.
Absolutely.
You know, a couple of the other games that we're going to be working on in the future. It's funny. Like I said, there are many inspirations I get. My girl and I like watching Vampire Diaries. We were actually kind of digging in through binging it on Facebook. We haven't been able to watch for a while, but we're binging it on not Facebook, Netflix.
Gotcha.
And so binging Vampire Diaries on Netflix. And from that, I came up with an idea of a dueling game for vampires called Compulsion, and where where each player is a vampire making the puny humans do their bidding. And so that is a game that is coming out that we haven't started on that. We're also doing a party game, and when I say party game, very similar to Are You a Werewolf? It's called Society, and in this, everybody takes a character of players that are being recruited into a secret society.
Nice. That reminds me of Paranoia.
Right. So you're being recruited into either one secret society or the other, or you're trying to remain unaffiliated. And so there are characters that don't even want to have anything to do with it. So it's we're still working out the details of how that game's going to work, but I think it'll be a lot of fun because unlike Are You a Werewolf, when you're dead, you're dead.
Right.
You know, and if you're killed on the first round, then the game really sucks, especially if you're playing with 20 people.
We have one friend that he wanted a quick role-playing game that you can set up in 5 minutes.
Wow.
If you've never played it before, and keep it simple where you can get the rules down pretty quick. And the way it worked, it was basically you're going into haunted houses, and you're going through and the winner is the last one left alive. But when your character dies, it now becomes a ghost that can influence the game.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
For or against the other players. And that's Robert Turk, who is associated with Gandersnitch the Goblin, and he's also done a storytelling card game, and has a great coloring book out there for Gandersnitch where it comes with one brown crayon. And,
I have that.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Brown.
Amy, you said, is he open for stuff on a game? Now, if you mean ideas, suggestions, absolutely, I think so. If you meant something else, go ahead and clarify. And we've got about 5 more minutes before we hit our next refill break, and John's going to head out, which we will one more time drop all your links in the chat. Or you could play Deadlands, spend 10 hours to make a character, and die in the first round of combat. Yeah, I'd probably avoid that game.
Yeah, I think we might. That's a wonderful, great idea. Yeah, let me think about that. No, okay.
Yeah, I love the idea where when you die, for some reason your character can still interact on a different level.
That is pretty cool. It reminds me of the game in the 80s. It was called, I think it was just simply called Tune.
In which you played Tune.
Yeah, and you don't die, you fall down.
Right, and then you come back in the next scene.
You're out for 10 minutes, and then you're back in the next scene. I think that's awesome.
Right, and that was just so ridiculous and fun and simple. And I remember reading the rule book as a teenager, and it had a list of things you could get. It was like 20, 30 things. And one of the things was, and I read it out loud, I'm like, why would you want pictures of the family bucket? And it was actually pictures of family, bucket was the next item. And I'm like, pictures of family, and my friend is like, no, that's two separate things. I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. But I did carry
Why can't you have a picture of the family bucket?
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm like, I'm having a picture of my family bucket.
then you could kick it.
That's just like the rest of your family.
Um,
What does say, Anne?
Amy says I have some stuff for a game.
Well, Amy, in the links just above your last thing, you can see Don's email. Drop him a message. Drop him a line. Absolutely.
Please do.
And Des
Please
says,
do.
there's a chance, though slim, that you could come back from the dead as a hallowed, and you had to pull a Joker out of the deck of cards. Okay, see, that's a cool little feature.
Well, it is pretty cool.
So, now, Don, I want to thank you for coming on, buddy.
Thank you.
And I want...
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is awesome.
And I want kept up to date. It's I like to hear this stuff. I like to support this stuff because I'm nerdy all the way. Welcome back, Win. So yeah, especially as that Kickstarter rolls and whatnot.
Yeah, let us know.
With 4 days.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you have multiple copies, and we got to determine, is it one of those things that we can play online if we're not in the same physical location? And if we can, then there's no reason we can't play a game on camera.
We could work that out.
We'll
I might be able to work that out.
Let's do a toast. Hey, here's to never-ending
grab another
creativity.
bottle here. That one's empty.
Is that the water you sell?
No, I actually sell a machine, but we'll go into that some other time.
Here's to continuing creativity.
Absolutely.
Here.
Okay. So, where are you next if somebody wants to beta test one of your games with you? How can they beta test?
What I'll do, I'll almost try to set up some times at Mishap Games. We have a local game store.
Okay.
And so we try to beta test there some too. Usually try to be there on a Monday night. Mm-hmm. I can't be there every Monday night, but what I'll do, just check out Mishap Games and mishapgames.com, and you can check to look for an event. And the group I usually am with is called CCG Pathfinder.
Gotcha.
CCG standing for Crashcity Games, Pathfinder, and I've got a great group there. We role play, we play my game some. We just do a lot of great stuff.
Now, do you create a
now on your?
Go ahead, Andrea. I think we're going to
I was going to say,
here.
on your website, do you put any events or where you're going to be?
My website is still being created.
Okay.
So actually, no, I don't at this moment. I'm still
the Facebook or any of the other links that I posted.
A Facebook event for these things?
I should. I haven't in the past, but I should. So I mean, you guys are giving me some great ideas of things that I should be doing that I haven't been. Don't smack me, but anyway.
No, not at all. It's one of those things. There's only so many hours in the day, but write the ideas down, and once a month.
When you get to it, there you go.
Next 3 events for the next 3 beta tests, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
Create a Facebook event for when you go to Mysticon. So you have Sunday 10 to 2 in the gaming area.
Absolutely.
And let folks know. So.
And you guys,
also make sure you put where they can find you. That's a big thing. People will post events all the time, but they don't say where it is. Make sure you put the city and the zip code and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even inside the con, because I usually know what table I'm going to be at, and so
there you go. Yeah.
And I put signage up when I'm at that table. And
there's nothing.
Actually, I bought a big old banner for it, and
with the show, we have friends all across the world, and they'll post an event, and it'll be like, it's in Smithville.
What state?
What country?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, go on.
The moon.
Okay. That's right. You were saying though.
I do have and she listed a lot of my stuff is done through my Facebook Crashcity Games page. So please come by there and like it. And I put a lot of stuff on there, like being here today is on there. And I do a lot of little trivia. Riddle me this, Batman. What game is this? And things like that.
Fun.
So, yeah, we have fun with it.
Well, Don, thank you very much. We're going to set you free into the wild again, and we're going to take a break.
Run free.
Then we'll be back for the last hour to kick our feet up on the desk and prattle on. Amy, this is where you could definitely ask stuff, and I don't know if Disco's still here, but we'll actually address Disco's question. Nope, Disco bailed.
Oh, well.
Disco is a Twitch troll who pops in, asks ridiculous, stupid questions, but last time we answered him in total seriousness, and we were amused. You know, as they're throwing these questions at us meant to make people upset, angry, or whatever, and we're like, oh no, we've got answers. So,
You might not like the answers, but it's answer.
True story. Okay, bud. Have a good one, and we will catch you hopefully soon with some more news.
Absolutely appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. Let me throw on a break. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm about to give my kids some shit. So I wanted to help my friend keep his New Year's resolution, so I got him these. She loves going fucking bear. Oh yeah. You know what I like? What? I like golden shit. See that? I heart this shit. So I asked Andrea what she wanted, and she pulled this out.
Heat and vibration. Smoking those cigars will kill you.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to heaven. Heaven cigars. Die happy. Hey, want to see my cock? You ever wanted to touch one of Hulk's balls? I hope you're my rock. Hey, look, it's ice. Baby! What? No. I don't think that really matters. Gloves are so soft. It's like they're kid leather, made out of real kids. Look, it's a massage bar with 3 balls. It's like NWA is making games for kids now. I figured out why Popeye's girlfriend never got pregnant. Because olive oil had built-in protection. After all the Tide Pod challenges, you need a little something to rinse your mouth out with. OxyClean comes in pods too. Removes biological material. If I can clean up a mess from my peacock, 2 can too. This is a horrible product. Why would you have something to measure how much you like children? I do what I want.
Don't egg them on.
You want a piece of me?
No money.
Tell me what you prefer, pitcher or catcher? Seen it all. Look, it's a poop sharpener. It gives a point to my shit. Look, I found a power gripping ring. What do you think you could stick in that? You know, sometimes when I just gotta go, but I can't, I need a little pre-poo. I'd like to show you some puppy fashion, also known as doggy style. I don't know if these puzzles are legit.
No, look. They're on the level.
Talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome.
When going to the bathroom, it's important to have an adjustable hand grip. Otherwise, you just can't aim right. Adult gummies. It's like grandma toothless BJ porn. Is it me or do they seem kind of confused? Happy Valentine's Day? You turtledy rock. Got a real doodle head bugging out. I love it. Hey look, it's Baby Alive. Baby go bye-bye. It's like mafia babies. Want to see something bananas? Farm Friends hand puppets. Don't give this to your teenage son. You know what that leads to in the future. Bestiality. You know what? I hate it when I get blackballed. Hey Bob, it's your lucky day. I found your wig. See, my mother would just bury him in the swamp. I'm in the ladies' department. It's like a buffet. Here's a little bit kale brought in to start you out, and then we go get some cactus and kale for a secondary meal, and then wash it down with a little pineapple quench, and then we get some coconut milk as a shooter, and then to wrap it all up for dessert, island vanilla. I might be beautiful, but I won't be hungry anymore. I can't wait to get more shea butter. Can't you? Okay, we're back. Let me readjust the screen so Andrea's not this huge face. You're a huge face. Let's do this here. Have fun. Boink.
That's weird.
Even huger face.
Wow, that's special.
It is.
Technical things, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My head with Google eyes is weird.
There we go. We'll take that out to there. We'll bring Andrea
Yay.
down and out a little bit here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Maury,
Oh my goodness.
I gotta have your Google Eye woman in there.
I put my candle here. It's got a face on it.
Does it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Hold on, let me use a card. I can probably see better. You see his face?
Here, hold it still for a couple seconds. There we go. I see the face. Almost see it better without the card though.
Oh.
It's and Des,
It kind of lights up a little bit.
There you go.
I love this thing.
And Des, I got it there. I will check that out in a little bit. Kennedy, thank you for the share. Appreciate that. I see you did that. And then here's somebody randomly posting at one of our events. If you think that cloth is your best outfit, wait for an occasion. What?
What? What are you looking at?
Somebody posted in one of our Facebook event pages for June 25th. Basically, I think they were just, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm clueless. I am ready for dinner when we're done with this. So,
Yeah, before we game, but my little droid needs to play.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's and I do have the fakest up, so I want to check that out later. I'm not closing that down because hello, squirrel. Thank you for joining the show.
There's a cat.
It is a kitty. You know, something else, when people invite you to Facebook groups or pages and there is no description of what
I hate
it
that.
is, I'm kind of like, why am I going to click like? Why am I going to click anything on this? It makes no sense. Okay, what else we
I
got?
did a shout out for my channel. It says they're playing no game. That's because Star Wars Edge of the Empire is not in the list of games.
That's true. What about RPG?
There. No, I looked.
Really?
Yeah, ain't that crazy? Because everybody's doing like video
Right.
games or whatever.
Right. It's Zoe, what are you gonna have for dinner? Are you cooking tonight? What are you doing? Oh, let me do this also. I'm going to go ahead and post.
We promised not to knock on the door.
It's our pleasure, John. It's we love having the folks on who are doing whatever creative outlet they use. And I just put the link to my Kickstarter because we are down to less than 10 days. So, crab cake, sweet potato, and asparagus. You're fancy.
Yeah, you are.
Now, I think it was Monday or Sunday. I cooked a lot, so we had leftovers for a few days. But the leftovers were things like
Father's Day.
Is that? Yeah, that's right. It was filet mignon and grilled chicken breasts, as well as some hot dogs and some cheddar wurst. So we've kind of worked our way through that over the past couple days, the next 2 days, and now tonight is cooking, and I think we're going to go easy, and it's going to be kind of junk food. It's going to be pizza, and
I'm making spring rolls and pizza
there we go.
and some egg rolls.
And that's what we're doing tonight. So we can chow down real quick before we get on with the Star Wars game tonight.
Well, I figure dinner and an episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and then Star Wars gaming.
Works for me. It all sounds good. We love the variety. So some days we do all fancy, and other days it's absolute.
Sometimes it's just cheese, crackers, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
salad. Who knows?
Yeah.
Whatever's in there because I don't feel like cooking.
There's nothing like a really good sandwich. If you got yourself a good cold cut and some nice cheese with a good bread, there's nothing
Stop
like that.
talking about food. I'm hungry.
I know I should. It's because I am not doing myself any favors here. I need my next pipe, my last pipe for this. It's the little one, the little poker. This one gets a little hot. It's
Yeah, it does.
with the Star Wars game on Andrew's channel. Des, thanks for popping in and hanging out with us last night. Appreciate that.
I had a viewer.
But yeah, we are trying to get Andrea to the point where she can be affiliate and get that kind of stuff. So follow if you would, if you haven't already. I think probably John, Toey, and Kennedy have all followed already. But if you haven't, we appreciate it because you had an excellent sandwich yesterday, Kennedy.
See, I read that wrong. Because I can't see the small print on my screen. I thought he said I had an accident sandwich. Or an accidental sandwich. How's a sandwich an accident? Is that how it was invented?
Yeah, well, theoretically, by the Earl of Sandwich. It's just didn't have enough in the house to eat, so he made it. It's
Oh.
yeah, we might have thunderstorms here tonight, and we had some last night, but it didn't seem
Towards
to
the
interfere,
end, yeah.
so we got lucky there. It's but yeah, we will be playing Star Wars. It takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, soon after Return of the Jedi, though. So
We have a new ship. It's the Corn Nut. It's registered.
yeah, it's a bit of a silly game. It's fun and laid back, and we're not fighting the
way I play.
Empire. It's more like Firefly in the Star Wars universe than anything else. Very imperfect characters. Interested in that game? I have the books. Which one?
For Star Wars?
Or is there a Firefly game?
See, I'm not too serious with the games. It's supposed to be fun.
Right.
I can be serious. I just don't want to with this one.
Deadlands Noir.
Okay.
Oh, Jacob, I am interested, but again, with time and everything I do, I'm going to have to say no, just because I don't have time to learn a new game, and I don't play the ones I have and all that. But I love the concept, except for the dying in the first combat. That does not sound like the go-to game. It's About the
No,
story,
because I would be the one to die in the first 5 seconds.
and Andrea's, unlike most gamers, making up a new character is not Andrea's thing. She is. I'll make up a character every chance I get just because I enjoy developing the concepts, but so it's sort of a beautiful disaster. I have friends like that. So I might be that. It's hard to say. So
If you don't have friends like that, chances are it's you.
it could be. It's
I don't know.
it's not necessarily.
They're doing construction outside. Something.
I think it's the tree cutting.
Oh.
What games do we like to play? Amy, if you're talking about tabletop role-playing games, I myself like Star Wars Edge of the Empire and the other stuff that goes with it. Vampire the Masquerade, Dungeons & Dragons 5.0, Marvel Superheroes, Tefra, and then I do keep Toon on hand also, which we haven't played yet, but it's
The
available.
games we're we're currently playing, on a pretty much regular basis is we have a D&D game going with some people.
Mm-hmm.
Which is 5th edition, right?
Correct.
We're doing the Star Wars Edge of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't so much lately, but we play Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And Lego Dimensions.
Now, video games, we play Just Dance, Lego Dimensions, a little bit of Fortnite, but Andrea and I are not necessarily shooter game people, but we've tested out just to see what it's like. And my son, on the other hand, enjoys anywhere from Call of Duty to Star Wars Battlefront to Fortnite.
Because he lasts more than 5 seconds. I like to prance around and build stuff and check out the controls, and then someone shoots me.
Which we can with the new update. Be without the shooting part,
yeah.
where you can go in solo.
That'd be great. I like to just test out controls. I don't care if I win. I just want to play.
Mm-hmm. But Fortnite is a slightly broken system anyway. Because if you just duck and hide, you're always going to be in the top 5 or 10.
I'm not good at hiding, apparently.
But yeah, I always jump off the flying bus at the last minute. So everybody else has landed before me, and hopefully I can go places where they aren't. So then I can sneak through. I have come in 2nd place that way, but I have never won the Battle Royale.
That was until Thanos killed you, right?
That's right, that's when they had Thanos. Yeah, he was the final one to kill me, which was fine. It was cool. I got to see him do his little dance over my cold dead corpse, or still warm dead corpse. It's
Either way, it's a dance. Okay.
But yeah, we love the, and Andrea, do another shout out to yourself there, please.
Oh yeah.
If you guys
So
want to
8 o'clock Eastern tonight we'll be on.
And possibly tomorrow also. It's
Maybe.
But it's laid back and relaxed. And the Star Wars Edge of the Empire game is nice because it is set up to be played fast and loose, where the players can decide some of the things that happen and all that good stuff. So it's very much focuses on the role-playing aspect as opposed to just the dice rolling.
Yeah, if you want to see some non-traditional character playing, we're it for you. Yeah.
For you Star Wars fans out there, Andrea is an assassin droid like IG-88, the bounty hunter from Empire Strikes Back, as well as he's been, I believe, in the Clone Wars and Rebels. But she's a miniaturized version built by a child out of a junk pile, and so she's got some wiring issues, and she's not. Hey, where's your pop? You could show him. Okay, she's doing something, popping up. It's and then Aiden is just playing a Mandalorian mercenary, and they have found a pilot, since neither of them are very good at piloting, and so they've got a pilot that can do some repairs and fly him around. And I've kind of given it a Old West feel.
His hat fell off.
Oh, he's got a sombrero.
Because he's quirky.
Is he a bobblehead?
That's... Yeah. You got this for me.
Mm-hmm. Des, yes, there are, with any of the droids, they might all look alike, but they have different designations. So you might have an IG-88, an IG-90, etc.
But you can definitely tell mine in a crowd. Mm-hmm. While in the game my character is not wearing a sombrero, it is wearing a beard because it waxed a Wookiee.
Wookiee waxing. It's big on Alderaan. That's why it exploded. Because the Wookiees weren't happy about it. It's
because the last game my character was in, it was a Wookiee. Some things happened. Now I have a beard. It's flapping in the wind because the wax is coming off. But it's okay.
But we encourage a fun game. So if you're a hardcore, not this game for you. But if you like silliness and fun, absolutely. MMO games. I beta tested World of Warcraft and played it straight through, was it the Pandas? is when I quit. Because yeah, I had the goblins and the pandas. So yeah, and I don't do MMOs anymore because I just don't have the time, and throwing $20 into something every month that I can't make the time for because I'm busy writing books. If you scroll down below the video, you'll see my books on Amazon. You can click right through to them. Mr. Pandera, thank you. Um,
Oh.
they are, and I love them for that. And my original concept when I couldn't game and Skype wasn't up to gaming online, I tried to get my gaming friends to go in with me, and we would create a party and run around together and have a good time. But yeah, it becomes a massive time dump, which is great if you have that time and you enjoy that, like any video game or binging on Netflix or whatever. So,
See, with Netflix, you can do multiple things. That's what I do.
mhm.
So, with gaming like that, you have to be at the computer. So,
And for me, it's all about the interaction. So if it's just grinding to collect 20 horseshoe shells or, kill 13 goblins, it doesn't interest me that much.
oh,
Raiding.
poor goblins.
Oh, yeah, poor goblins. Raiding was never my thing because it's just repetitive and I enjoy the differences. Same here, Des.
Yeah.
And now with Skype, I can play online. We can get 5 of us together on the computer,
Yes.
and they could be all across the U.S., and we can be from the comfort of our own home, and we do that every other Sunday.
Yeah, because we used to try to get people together, but with life and traveling, it didn't work. So, yay, Skype.
Yes, Des agreed. Through Skype or Discord or Roll20, absolutely. And as for dice cheaters, generally we have great people who don't cheat, but if we think they do, where's your invite? We could talk about that. But I don't want to do it on air because then everybody will want one. So yeah, we could talk about that off air.
Yeah.
And see what kind of schedule you have and what we could work out. I actually, with some of the people I've met on the show, created a Facebook group called Dungeons and Shenanigans, and put together. We had enough people we couldn't put them all in one group. It would have been 8 people in one group on a computer. That's rough. So I broke it into 2 groups, so we have 4 and 4. And yes, Roll20 does have a dice roller, which is where you go to if for some reason you don't think you can trust the people to roll their own dice.
Well,
Mhm.
that's what I used to use before I got my Star Wars dice, too.
That's true. It's I think I don't know.
Sometimes you need specialty ones.
It's But yeah, with the Roll20, we are talking about exploring that because I think that's how we could do the interface, and then put an overlay on Twitch above it and have everybody separate in their window, be able to go ahead and show a map and all that good stuff. I'm looking into that and exploring those options. So it's all possibilities, and yeah, the big thing is it's so hard in real life to get 5 people who have the same day available on a regular basis.
Yes.
And you can play D&D online, Amy, yes. You can play it via Skype or any other video chat program. And keep in mind, we're talking about tabletop role-playing with dice and pencils and paper. As for a video game, there have been versions of D&D out there with Neverwinter Nights, Temple of Elemental Evil, etc. Even a Dungeons and Dragons MMO. And but again, you're not creating the game, you're just following the pre-laid track. What did Toei say? Roll20 is great for that type of play. Again, for all of us. The time, absolutely. Kennedy, I just love the role-playing games because of the interaction with the people. And I'm the type of DM that rolls well, so I always prefer to roll in secret because that way I can not kill the characters over a random dice roll because it's about the game and the players, not just randomization. Mind you, I don't mind hurting them, and if they do stupid things, they will end up killing themselves anyway. But yes,
It's happened.
It has. It's.
Maybe
I,
not died, but some crazy stuff has happened.
oh, I won't save people from their own stupidity.
It's very entertaining.
Des, I one time, way back when, I think I was 19, I had one player that would cheat on their dice rolls, drop the dice, swipe it up, insisted on having a player's screen since I had a DM screen. And I went, look, you can't do that. And he went, well, you got to roll your stuff in front of me. And I said, does the gaming group want me to roll in front of you? Because it will work against you. And everybody went, no. And he went, no, I insist. So I said, we'll play one game with the dice visible. Halfway through that game, when half the party was almost dead and wiped out, they're like, no longer want your dice out. Put them back behind your screen. D&D is fun.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, Kennedy, it started that way for me too. I was a player for the first 6 months when I got it when I was 13, and after that, I ran a game, and all the players since then have pretty much insisted. So when I am a player, I definitely enjoy being a player instead of running the game. But Amy, you should put a group together. It's pretty easy. You go find yourself, a meetup group or a Facebook group, or just
Oh,
scramble
yeah.
amongst your friends. Kennedy, you could be a player, buddy. I'll bring you and Des in. And
Playa, yo. That's horrible.
mhm. But I genuinely really enjoy it. And if we play D&D, we play D&D in the world that my books are written in. So you actually have books you can go get and read for some of the history and stuff and events that happened in the past. Um, and also some of the stuff that's mentioned in those books, I did not write a book based around an adventure I ran. This is totally separate. But there are places players have been in my games that are in the book or characters they ran across NPCs. Um, when you play in a steampunk world, you play in the one I write my steampunk stories and so on. And even with, I have a book coming out that right now is in the Kickstarter called The Talent Agency, which is a down and dirty, nitty gritty, street level, near future dystopian superhero things where superheroes were created by genetic alteration, nanotechnology, and some mysticism mixed in. So this is the superhero world you play in. So we don't have Thor and Superman level characters. We have the Daredevil level characters, Batman. Kickstarter. You know what? I did not hook it up like that. I should, shouldn't I, Des? That's a good idea. But there's only a few days left in it anyway. It's, hold on, let me pop over here. Yeah, and actually that thing, there you go. Appreciate that, Des. Yeah, and with that one, there's a steampunk book in my steampunk world. And then there's the talent agency, and then there's 2 kids books. And I've already spent a lot of my money to get these, and they've sat on the back burner waiting for the funding, but because of personal life, storm damage, car breaking, I haven't been able to get the money into it I had previously, so I did the Kickstarter. We'll see if it works. Yeah, Des is streaming now too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, can I get a plug? I hope that's what you wanted, a shout out. Everyone, go like Dez's page so he can get some followers. Check him out. Do you have a schedule, Des? Or are you just whenever you feel like it and have time?
There you go. Okay. Des,
Oh,
Kennedy, I have made you both moderators. Your duties in this is if somebody gets stupid, and keep in mind, I don't ban people lightly. They have to be pretty much schmucks. Other than that, as we grow,
well, they know who Bob is.
they do.
We allow Bob.
Don't ban Bob. He's our troll. He's our house troll, and we like him. But yeah, you guys know what to do, and for the most part, and I can always undo what you do if you
Do what you do and
go
he don't
wacky.
like it.
Yeah. But that way, if you guys are on and we have a guest, like when Disco popped in earlier, who was on last Thursday also, and they're asking ridiculous questions. You could tell them,
They're all,
wait for the third hour. That's when they go random. They have a guest right now. Ask questions of the guest that relates to the topic, not tell me about your first time.
first time what?
I was just going to go through the first time of sex, so
Oh, I was going to say first time, creating a game.
it could have been.
Just turn it around and make it part of the,
I could definitely do that. My first time creating a game. I guess that would have been in the 80s when I started to do that. The second time was early 2000s where I started to design an MMO with a bunch of tech guys who wanted to do the tech side and had me do the writing for it, but they bailed. They didn't. They're like, hey, we should do this. I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, here. And they're like,
Yeah.
wow, he's really. And then it fell apart.
Well,
There we go.
there you go. Oh, well,
First time I had sex in D&D. Sweet.
I was in a game once. This is like a long time ago, and there was one player that was just being an ass. They're like, well, I'm going to go to the whorehouse, and I'm going to do, whatever. Okay. And they were being such a pain. It's like, okay, roll. They got syphilis and died. So there you go.
Well, Des, I appreciate it. Thank you for that support with that. It's and I appreciate the sharing. If anybody is seeing that link, if you go to it, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it to your neighbors. It all helps.
To your enemies, to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'll take hate money from your enemies.
Because, it doesn't just bring books to your house. You can have them for your local library.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's 2 kids' books in there, along with the non-kids' books, children's books or whatever.
Which are good for teen and up. And, I was really hoping with the library thing, wanting to distribute these to local libraries, either mine or supporters. I really thought that was going to get more reaction and response and interaction. And
yeah,
I was wrong. But that's that. No big deal. Such is life. But yeah, I appreciate that, Des. Thank you for the help and the support there, as you always do. So, and we've got you guys as mods now. So, by the way, I found out the secret. Once we get to a point where we're so large, and I think I said this yesterday, where we go to subscriber only chat if it gets to that point, because they, can interact with the guests and everything. The way to get the regulars in, who maybe can't afford the subscription every month, make them moderators. So there we go. Nice.
Because there's some people that support on Patreon, but not here. So why can't they chat?
Absolutely. So we make them a moderator, and there we go. It's,
You're not allowed to take bribes at work, Kennedy.
Well, take them after work. I was once working at DMV, and I got bribed, and I didn't even realize it. Yeah,
For what?
I was so clueless. They wanted me to basically be their road test guy that gets their guys through the test, and they slid me a watch across the counter. I'm like, I absolutely cannot take that. That's crazy. Now, if a friend outside of work hands it to me, and they're like, oh, great, and I want my guys to pass the test, and I'm like, if they know how to drive, they will pass the test anyway. I am not giving somebody a license that can't drive. And it was they were bringing Mexicans in. By the way, most of the Mexicans know how to drive perfectly fine. They might not understand English, but I learned 20, 30 Spanish words to help them out. As long as they try to speak English, I will try to speak Spanish, and we will get through it. But yeah, I was totally clueless, and it was
and the signs, that's why signs are shapes and colors.
That's true. That's true. Oh, I was going to tell, I once had a gaming group way back when, I guess I was 15 or 16, and they were older, 25, 35, and they would play through every moment of their character's day, eating breakfast, going to the bathroom, having sex, etc. That was a little too much role play for me. That's just like talking through a fantasy with other men. And it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. I love role-playing. I don't mind going through, but there's some things like when you're walking down the street from your house to the pub or to go shop for equipment, you don't need to role-play that. Once you're in the shop shopping for equipment, sure, maybe that. In the pub, absolutely. But yeah, I'm like, I do this in normal life. I don't need to role play a character doing it. Yes, it can, Kennedy. You are correct. It's just like this universal sign. You can recognize it from the front or the back. Everybody knows
Well,
it.
see, I learned because some people can't read, not just English, they just can't read. So that's why the signs are important. And the colors play a part, but they're different shapes because some people are colorblind. Now you know.
There's one of my tweets coming through. Tweets. I said tweets. It had a W in it.
What
are my teats? I'm milking it.
Oh, that's no.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to post for you guys? Here's a little blast from the past. Toei, you still with us? This is Awkward Compliments. This is the game Toei, Mo, Tara, and I designed. And I'm putting 2 links up because the first link is to the main game and the second link is to the Steampunk expansion. And we're going to do more expansions, but the first 2 things never really got legs under it, so...
And the game can still be bought online, right?
Yeah, that's the links I just posted.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't even have a copy yet. Tara was going to give me a copy, but she paid for it, and I didn't want to basically take money out of her pocket. I wanted the game really bad, but I couldn't bring myself to take it from her. It's especially when she could sell it and make that money back.
I remember playing at the convention at MarsCon and stuff. It was fun. People would gather around. I want to play.
Yeah, we just deal them in, and when they're done, they drop their cards in the discard and wandered away. And
that's the good part of the game because you can come and go, and it doesn't matter how many people are playing. So
it was a good time. It's and I will pick up a copy one day. Just other things like publishing books have to come first.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. And I'm really curious about the fakest. Did you click on the fakest, Andrea?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it says, we cover the fake news for real. And, yeah, what Walking Dead? Whoopsie got one local priest into hot water, then clowns try to shake the stigma of Stephen King's It. Did you know Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter was based on a real person? We've got the scoop. And so, yeah, I've got that there. Rent-A-Kid.
Oh yeah, to cut the grass, I guess. Just saying.
McDonald's accepts an award for the cool parent from the Cool Parent Council. Birdman Stan flies into the heart of action. So yeah, I'm gonna be checking this out and supporting that. Let's see, Kennedy says, my daughter was with her friend who's colorblind and he freaked out because the traffic light was sideways.
Huh.
Yeah, well, you should still be able to left or to right. But yeah, I get it. Amy, you have a best friend. They don't play D&D. Teach them. Or like I said, go to your local gaming store and talk to them. They usually have a billboard. Well, what you missed is I
was talking about you.
Pretty much. You missed a lot about you. We talked about awkward compliments. I posted the links where people can find us still. We talked about the fakest, etc. But Amy, go to your local comic or game store. Talk to them. A lot of times they still have bulletin boards or even their website. And you can also go to, I think dnt.com has a place where you can find other local games. What are you saying, Andrea?
Oh, I just did a shout out for Toei. So if you don't already follow her channel, go do it. Check it out.
Toei,
Support.
I'm going to commiserate with you. So I have a couple books that are more than halfway done. And I decided to take the one book and split into because it was getting kind of long for what I was trying to do. So I split into, and I'm going through it. And I'm looking at what I've learned since I last worked on this book with, how to end chapters, how to catch people. Oh, it's going to be so much work to put this all back together. Oh, good. It's Toei says a lot of new things on my channel soon. Do follow so you don't miss cool things. And depending how long those Fakest videos are, you could use them as break videos. Just in OBS, you create a new scene and then add. Yeah, I think you probably already know how to do that though. That's how we do our refill breaks. It's a brand new scene.
Oh my goodness.
I agree, but
Nothing.
with this book, I have to go through and reading my style of writing from when I actually wrote this. Yeah, there's going to be some updates, and I have to read it. I skimmed it now to see what's missing. Just look for the major plot threads, see how the pacing is, etc., without reading it word for word. But when I read it word for word, hey, welcome back, Goblin. On to beer. Well done. Where do you live, Amy? What country or state?
Oh.
And Goblin, what kind of beer you got, man? It's with me trying to lose a little weight, I have been not necessarily replenishing the beer in the house or some of the other alcoholic drinks because they have a lot of calories. So
Yeah.
it's good for me to not have them available just for the calories. But I still like to hear about others. Ooh, dungeon creation work you doing. Meta Arcade's coding class.
Oh.
Yeah. Lord Hobo
Nice.
Brewing. That's a fun name. Yeah, Doey, I'll watch that. I'll throw bits and all that good stuff. Yeah. It's I did spend last weekend, which, in case you guys don't know, down on the chat box, a little triangle, when you click on it to throw bits, they have a little thing that says get bits. So when you click on it, you can watch videos to get free bits. And then you can cheer and throw those bits for us, and it's like a penny a piece. It all adds up very nicely. But since I started doing this like Saturday, I have gotten 1,500, almost 1,600 bits in just a couple days by watching the videos. So when I'm editing my books, I sit here and keep one of the music streams up and then just, keep clicking the videos. Kennedy says, I'm headed over to my writing group. Nice New York weather today. We've got the storms here in
Nice.
Virginia, buddy. And it looks like they're continuing for the next few days. Indiana, I'm guessing that is. You might have to Google something. Or you find your online.
The Google has everything.
It does. The Google.
Google.
I hear those little guys in the claw machine saying it. The Google.
Oh, yeah, the little aliens. They're my favorite. Pizza Planet. Oh, pizza. I'm hungry.
Well, no.
So in about 30 minutes.
You know what? We could call out to our little helper and have him put it in. Gotta pop a gook sometimes. I'm so glad that word was pop because I originally read gotta poop a gook sometimes. And I'm like, wow, that's really way too much information and awkward.
A little bit.
Don't poop the gook. That's oh, by the way, let me do this real quick. Tomorrow, great show, guys. One of the laid back ones. We're getting a group of us on. There'll be Andrea, myself, my son, Elizabeth the Pickle Lady from our Monday night shows, and Daniel Carter from itswood.com. And we're just going to hang out. It's called School's Out, so we're going to talk about school being out for the summer, but then we're going to ramble all over the place. And it's going to be wild and free and stupid and fun. Monday. Okay, nope, I got to pull up the list. I don't remember. What do we got? Hold on a second. Pulling up the schedule. Do. Scroll, damn you. Monday, we have CSI IRL. We're joined by author Aaron Ashley, who has a degree in CSI type stuff. And Elizabeth
Forensics.
has a background in forensic in college also. Tuesday, I think we're doing tea time with Madison Hatter of Mad Hatter Tea. We'll have to find out.
Yay, tea!
But Wednesday, next Wednesday, from 3 to 6 p.m., we have, if you've ever seen the Hobbit movie, we have the gentleman who played the dwarf named Biffer, on with the accent in his head. And yeah, we're going to have him on, chat with him for a bit, and see how that goes, and have a good time.
Talk about his new movie.
Yeah, some of the other stuff he's been in. Well, you can get shit results if your Google Foo is lacking. My Google Foo is very lacking. It amazes me how bad my Google Flu is compared to other people. I'm like, really? Is it
Did you say
bad?
Google Flu?
No, I said Google Flu. Maybe some Google Flu powder.
No.
Oh, and then of course the other thing is tonight at 8 o'clock. Feel free to tune
Is your
in.
fan on?
The fan for the computer is because it was overheating, so it's sitting on my
Okay, I just
blotter,
wanted to.
and
I didn't know if that was you or.
it's that much off kilter, so it click. Now we hate the Hobbits movie. Well, shut up, Gollum.
You have to say it in that voice.
Quiet down, Smeagol. Great guess. But we hate. No, that's. We hate the Hobbit movie. That's the gangster's lackey. So we're excited. Just like last week when we had comedian Brad Williams on for an hour. We were thrilled with that. Now, I'm going to do a quick mini rant about Brad. He has almost 200,000 social media follows between Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And he didn't post on his social media that he was going to be on. And I can't blame him. We're a small show. But I
don't know us.
I
Next
was
time
really
he will.
hoping he would. Yeah, now we did
will
talk
next
to him
time.
about this because I mentioned, Brad will use the term little person, midget, or dwarf freely, especially in his act, because he is a little person. And we invited him back on because Andrea realized that we're going to have two dwarves on. We have Brad and we have William Kircher, who played a dwarf in The Hobbit. And I mentioned this, and he went on a little rant about, we've got real dwarves and we're CGing people, and it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, possibly a bit of realism to it. And I said, so what if he's willing to come back on? Will you come back on with him and do a debate on real versus little people? Oh, Kennedy. Oh, you too. Yeah, Kennedy says, but his time with you was too short, then Toey, so it'll be a short stream. Yes, it will. So yeah, we're hoping to get William Kirchrick, if he'll agree to it, to come back on with Brad and do a bit of a debate back and forth there. So we'll see how that goes. We're hoping.
Well, he also played one of the trolls too.
Yes, he did play a troll, so he'll fit right in on Twitch. It's be a good time. This thing will not stay lit. But what I was saying is, Amy, if you want to watch somebody game, you can tune into Andrea's stream at Night Owl Creates, and Andrea will do a shout out so you can follow her channel, and you can watch us.
She followed it.
Tonight. Oh, good. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we'll be on tonight at 8.
So, and with that one, we might not read the comments quite as quick and as fast, so it'll be more like you guys are talking amongst yourselves, and we'll check it out once in a while and comment on your comments. It's headed in a Subway. Well, good luck with that.
I'm going to run too.
I want a sandwich.
Eat fresh.
Hey,
Ah, pocket.
cock bucket? Cock bucket.
Advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm hoping to get the streamers up, the followers up on my channel, and it'll be. I want to do some of my crafting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People may want to watch that.
Well, what we'll have to do, because last night I forgot to host your channel. It was auto-hosting someone else. So I'll make sure I do that tonight. And right before we start the game, I will do a quick Twitter. And, oh, who we got? Monster Hunter Unite. Good to see you, Monster Hunter. How are you?
Hello.
I'm curious, are you part of the Monster Rangers? Do you know what that group is? It's some Rich Sigfrid, podcasting Rich Sigfrid, who we had on, invited me over to Monster Rangers, and it's kind of like grown-up Boy Scouts with monster theme, and you get all kinds of crazy little patches. Oh, thank you, Toei. Appreciate that.
Oh. Yay.
It's so yeah.
And we're going to be doing family gaming, so it's family friendly-ish.
Yeah, I'm still going to swear because I do. On a 3 train. So Monster Hunter, just so you know, we have 15 minutes left in our stream here, but we will be on Andrea's stream, which she's going to post in
I'll do it
the
again.
chat right now. And at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, we're going to do a live stream of our Star Wars tabletop role-playing game, if you're familiar with these things. No Monster Hunter is a video game. I've never heard of Monster Ranger. It sounds really cool, though. Let me see if I can go find their Facebook page.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
Yeah, turn off your computer, Toey. Don't get a power surge and fry everything.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Pull this up for them. Monster Rangers. It's not. There it is.
Yeah, I put my shout out. Follow my channel. I'm trying to get 50 followers. That's my goal.
Here we go. I mean, you never know. It's always a possibility. It's oh yeah, you're gonna
Keep
go
coming
pick
around. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So Toei is gonna go make crab cakes and sweet potatoes and asparagus now. And you have audio? Yeah, there you go. So there you go. 11 p.m. here. Oh, you're overseas, aren't you? Yeah, we do our afternoon streams so we can have our European audience join us. So yeah, it will be the middle of the night for you. So if you're a night owl, you'll be all right. See what I did there with your night owl?
Well, either way, come back to Talk of the Tavern next week.
Yeah, well,
We've
tomorrow,
got. Oh, and tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, your time, 8 to 11. It's school's out. We're going to have 5 of us on, have a great time, a little bit inappropriate, a lot of fun. And then we do this 4 days a week. Mondays is possibly too late for you, but we do have one of our British friends who is a regular co-host on Monday nights. And we just sit around and have a good time and talk about the topic and wander away from it and come back. So. Sorry, this thing still won't stay lit. It is. It's very relaxed, very laid back, and we definitely interact with our audience. Now, if you have a guest on, we try not to talk only to the audience and not to the guest. But when we don't have a guest on, it's all about interaction. And even with a guest, we definitely read your questions off to our guest.
Yeah, the way our talk show is, you can talk to us, the guest, and each other in the chat, where a lot of other talk shows, you just watch it on TV.
You know, Monster Hunter, next Wednesday, we had just said this, I'll say it again, sorry to repeat myself, guys, but next Wednesday we actually have one of the actors from The Hobbit who played Bifur the dwarf and one of the trolls, William Kircher, will be joining us, so that'll be a fun show next Wednesday. And Monday night, we're talking about CSI in real life. Tuesday, tea time. Like I said, tomorrow school's out. So, yes.
That'll be fun.
But we are an adult show, so if you're easily offended, we might well help you out with that. It's if you're laid back.
And if you join us, you get to hear our opening music, and we do take refill breaks, and we have some fun videos that are playing during that time. So it's a lot of stuff.
Because with a 3-hour stream, yeah, we like to get up and refill our cups. Keep the beer cold or the whiskey flowing. So there we go. And we are wrapping it up right now. So we're random. So if anybody has any questions or comments, the third hour is our random hour.
It is.
And our moderators are very good. If you have questions, they'll answer it. And by the way, for the moderators, Kennedy, Des, don't forget you could do !SO and somebody's stream name, and it will do a shout out for them, etc. We just added a few new moderators who are here on a regular basis, so figured might as well put them to work.
And raiding, we raid.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to raid someone today?
Monster.
Hey, moderators, are you still with us? You got someone for us to raid?
If not, I can pull up one of our regulars. We can always go to Doctor Who.
Who?
Doctor
Who?
You know what? I see we have a few of our music streams going. So I think what we're going to do is maybe go to Resurrection Fern.
Okay.
That was a good environment. I like that. And looks like they're doing evening chill jams.
Oh, nice.
So we'll pop over there. We love to raid. Do you stream, Amy? I'll go check that out. Doctor, give me the news.
Do you have a schedule? Yeah, see if there's a schedule, because...
Popping over to Amy's stream. Let's see what we got here for Amy. Okay, not much information here. PayPal donate and a countdown. Your countdown's not working, by the way. It looks like they play Sims.
Oh, yay, Sims.
That kind of stuff.
Well, Roughhead, Kennedy, yeah, because you support on Patreon, you get to get in the chat room.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
we're not
it's all
subscriber-only chat at this point in time. That's
No.
looking to the future. But
That's
appreciate
as
you.
the names we get on the show get bigger and bigger.
Right. When we're bringing in people like Patrick Stewart and Mr. T, and we have a crowd, we definitely want to make sure that we don't have 1,000 people throwing things in there. Let them. But Kennedy, you're supporting on Patreon. Just got off, pervert.
Write lots of stuff at your writing group.
Yeah, and have a good time. And thank you for being a moderator and helping out. Because with me doing all the background stuff, I like to make sure I don't miss stuff in the chat. And that's where you guys definitely are very helpful. And I'll get you guys a list of basic commands and whatnot.
And sometimes I'm just I don't pay attention.
That's true.
I get distracted.
Well, we're busy doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. So it's good stuff. So Amy, we'll check it out. We'll see what you got going on over there. And like I said, we do love to raid. So and today's raid, as I said, is going to go to Resurrection Fern. So I'll send you guys over to some music. Kennedy, are they up on the mod tab? Do I have a mod tab? Monster Hunter, have a great night. Maybe see you in a couple hours when we do the other stream on the other channel. And if not, hope to see you again. So, pleasure to meet you.
We'll be on tomorrow.
Green Goblin, I will check out the mod tab and see what I got there. Thank you for that info. As for you, Kennedy, enjoying this book you're working on. Now, writing or reading? I'm guessing writing. So I'm with you. It's I'm as much as it is work, I just love digging into it and getting into it and accomplishing it and telling a story. Oh, so you got to be like the straight lace tonight because, yeah. It's mod tab. Oh, you know what? I know what you're talking about. See, with the mod, with the commands, I also have them set up somewhat in like stream elements and whatnot. So I have to be careful of that.
We need to do a closing toast too.
We do need to do a closing toast. Do you have one?
Toast with butter is my favorite.
There we go. Toast with butter. Oh, power flicker. Look at that.
Mm-mm. So hopefully we'll still be on later.
Oh, good. Be yourself. Be yourself. Yeah, and Stream Elements is pretty streamlined. Yeah, I'm using Stream Elements as well as Stream Labs, and I'd like to condense it down to one. I just have to make sure they can do everything I want, and with all the other
storm's
stuff,
coming in.
anyone but Her.
Anybody exclamation point.
Anybody but who? Who's her? Play a lot of PC games? We'll have to check it out. Stream them, Amy, and yeah, it'll all grow. It'll all grow. And that's Andrea's character tonight. The extra short.
It's so cute.
And those are heavy
I need to give it corn nuts.
Heavy blaster pistols that one has in its hands.
Uh-huh.
Really? Now you're gonna be that way. Butter. Oh, butter anyone but her.
Oh.
But her.
Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Love a good pun. They're delicious. So that's that. Okay.
It is.
So we already covered what we're doing tonight, where we're doing it, what we're doing tomorrow, next week. So I think we're good. We got about 2 minutes left. Thank you. Toasty.
Toast.
Do you remember that in Mortal Kombat? They had the game designer's head poke in and you go, Toasty.
No.
Yeah, back in the 90s, I had some friends who were big Mortal Kombat fans.
I don't remember the 90s. Well, car accident. So
Right.
Oh.
That's a much better excuse than, a history of getting toasted.
No, I wasn't toasted then. They meet at Whole Foods. That's better than Half Foods.
Hey, that's where that one guy on that TV show got the mystical elements for a spell. Okay. Well, we've got ourselves about 90 seconds, so you guys have a great night. Make sure you hang out for the raid so we can raid them en masse, and then you can stay and enjoy the music or bail. Kennedy, have a great time at the writing group. Des, I'm guessing we might see you pop your head in a little later tonight. We might have a power outage.
No, we won't.
Okay. I was thinking we should have had Aiden pop in the kitchen and start the pizzas. Because it's almost pizza time.
I'll do that as soon as we're done here.
There we go. Absolutely, Amy. We'll see you very soon also. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out. And thanks for following. Don't forget, if you have Twitch Prime and you've linked your Amazon Prime account to Twitch, you can subscribe and it doesn't cost you a thing. So keep that in mind to help support your streamers. You got it, Kennedy. Go write some amazing stuff. I'm going to do some outro music here. Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.